Get out there and have fun. Because you've got McGuire's. And we've got your back. From wash, to paint care, to maintenance and more. McGuire's has your hybrid ceramic solution for every adventure. McGuire's, reflect your passion.
This is where champions are made. Born from Formula Drift. Engineered for your daily drive. Where Kenda's Vezda UHP Max Plus proves it's not just track ready. It's street dominant. This is podium to pavement. Vezda UHP Max Plus, only from Kenda. Find yours today at kendatire.com.
BC Forged Wheels, custom built per order, offering extensive design, finish, and machining options. Strength, style, and precision come standard. Track proven, street ready. BC Forged, proud sponsor of Formula Drift 2025.
This is Formula Drift, what we call the throwdown. The battle in Seattle. Are you with me? 1, 2, 3!
The big bank is gnarly. You're doing 80 miles an hour the whole way around. And then finishing it off right next to that last wall, I feel like it's iconic, and the fans get to stand right there and get blasted with tire smoke.
Left face of the Kraken. Simon Olsen in tow. Look at him. Again, good execution, good proximity. What an amazing initiation. Oh, Castro, look at that. Turn advances to the finals. LZ of Manoa. The crowd erupts here in Seattle. Hiro Manoa is out. The wind comes out of the sails of the 14-year-old. And here is Ryan Turk on a celebratory win run. What a run. Make some noise, Seattle. Ryan Turk gets the win on Nitto Tires. Welcome out to a beautiful Evergreen Speedway just outside of Seattle. It's in Monroe, Washington. Love this place. And happy anniversary to the Formula Drift fans of the PNW. 20 years.
All right, how y'all doing, my viewers?
But we are about to throw down in the town.
When I watched some Seattle, I was at work yesterday. I couldn't get the chance to watch it properly.
It's Casual Friday, but casual by no
I don't even know who won yet, so I
means,
didn't want to spoil myself.
This is seeding brackets Friday. Tomorrow is game day. Find out who
There,
wins. Will it be a
Madison
repeat of
wins.
Ryan
All
Turk?
right, let's
He's
see
had
how
an
this
up and down
plays out.
season, but obviously him and this track work well together. Manoa was
What
on
up,
the blocks
SCB,
last
man?
year.
How you
Adam
doing?
OZ, as we saw that celebration right before the opening of this show. Joining me here by my side is Jacob Gettins,
All right.
host
We
of
don't need to hear
Formula
all
Drift
this
official
talking.
podcast, the Outer Zone
Let's get to
podcast.
it. Let's get to it.
I'm Jared Deanna, so thank you so much for joining us out here. We're about to send it, and
battles there, and then as we get in, they're tied right now. These battles are incredibly massive.
Of our staff members. Got to give Ed a shout out. Hardworking cats. All right, so here we go again. Happy birthday boy, Jonathan Hurst there on the left, and then Austin Matta. Taking a look at the cars, not so much right now, but the flip-flops as far as the header cards. But the pride of Paducah and Minnesota's own Austin Matta. I'm really surprised. They have never done battle before since 2020, 5 years?
Well, I mean, definitely not in Pro. Maybe I'd have to really go back in the history book. Maybe back, it would have been Pro 2 back then.
Yeah, that's right.
It is possible, but at least here in Pro, never battled. So there's some, there'll be some bragging rights here. Both these drivers, a little outspoken. They like to be boisterous. So there'll be some smack talk before and after this battle.
Absolutely. Here we go. Austin Matta, Jonathan Hurst. Looks like Austin will lead and Hurst will give chase here in our seating of 16. Thank you to the Evergreen Speedway staff. Always great to us. And this place will be packed out, rip-roaring, and ready to go tomorrow. And looks like we are going to get cleared to send in just a moment. All right, here we go. Austin Matta, Jonathan Hurst, Ricky Lee Gasser. We are looking for you, so head on up to the announcer's booth. Here we go, Austin Matta. He is going to lead, initiate into that first bank. There's Jonathan Hurst Austin initiates. You can see some wavering there, but does find that sweet spot eventually. Hurst, you can see just how fast this bank is. Now going into what
Hurst's car is a lot more gripped up.
The power boulevard, that thing has been wider, thicker than a Snicker going into that inside clip. Now in that last outside zone,
flicked it too early.
Hurst digs on deep. And there we go, Austin Matta brings it on home. So you just see how fast they are when it comes to competition. You know, we've seen tons of practice runs, but this is where, again, it's a game of inches, not just your car.
I like what they did with the last zone. They removed it being close to the wall and adjusted the last zone a little bit away from the wall. A lot better than what we're dealing with right now. They haven't yet updated the new layout on the map.
In the front wheels. Hurst does a good job to keep things back. Matta not fulfilling that second outside zone completely and missing a lot of the third. And Hurst playing back pretty
He flicked into it a little too early. Made him miss. Yeah, I love the new last zone right there. Way better than it being near the wall from last year.
Mr. Matta, but Jonathan Hurst, he's keeping things right and tight. Not overcommitting at any point, but still making sure he's got that chase locked in at some point throughout the entire battle.
Almost forcing a mistake, and bear in mind that everybody is locked in for tomorrow's main event. So now I would really challenge the drivers and use this as sparring.
Yeah.
This is a sparring match, knowing that you could potentially go against, you know, somebody similar or gnarlier or lesser than. So again, this is a sparring match here today, and this is really good live competition because you can get 3 points richer, 6, 9, 12, do the math. Here we go. Keeping it cool, Mr. Cool, 79 degrees on that temperature dial, Fahrenheit we're talking about here. And look how settled Jonathan Hurst is. The car way more settled than Austin was in the lead position.
Missed that zone, came a little short.
Transitioning through that power alley.
A lot better.
Adaptation there.
His line is a lot better.
And now going to transition into that last outside zone. I mean, Jonathan Hurst, you can just see that execution there. Just a little more refined, less twitchy than Austin out front. And I think that's really where the judges are focusing on car placement. They did, again, we'll walk you through the course, but coming off that wall into that power alley, I really like the changes that they made.
Yeah, a lot of changes have led to some incredible chases, and for the lead driver, it allows them to be much more flowy throughout the track. But Hurst, not perfect, but much more settled than what we saw with Matta. Does a good job getting.
Hey, how you doing, Vanessa?
And Matta really still all the way through just can't find his groove even in the chase. So there's going to be a pretty big rethink when they get that car back to the pits on what the setup is like, or maybe the mentality of Austin Matta. But either way for Hurst, really good run here. Had some contact earlier on in practice, had a couple of runs where he looked like he struggled, but this is one of the better.
I got all the homies last night on this track, but I couldn't stream it because I still gotta get my internet fixed.
Either today, if he does move on, and into tomorrow, but just not able to, you know,
it's a pretty fire track. Got us all hooked.
I really love how aggressive
Kept practicing
Austin
it all
is.
throughout last night, all the way to 5 in the morning.
A wild driver, but over the years has
Really
gained
fun.
that composure
I hope I could have streamed it,
that
but
he needs to have in order to
Still
get on
gotta
the
get my
box.
network
And he's right there. But I gotta say, I think Jonathan Hurst might have just that little advantage and that little refinement, and there it is. So Jonathan Hurst, happy birthday. He is 3 points richer, and he advances on into the grade 8. Don't fret, if you're a Matta fan, he's still in top 32, but he's out here in seeding brackets.
And for Hurst, these
They
points
gotta
are
stop
huge.
putting the
It's been an
car
incredibly rough season for him, so just to get a win under
names
his belt,
right next to the drivers.
You know, momentum going.
So that way,
it's massive.
if you don't know the driver's
Drivers who
name
do well in
of who
seeding
was
often
driving
do
the car,
quite
you at
well
least know the
getting in
car and be
brackets.
like, okay.
Right back
Jack
to
Shanahan.
Exactly.
Makes it a lot more easier that way
Shanahan
to connect with the driver.
All right, well, we are hearing that unfortunately Ken Shiroguchi is out. So Simon Olsen will get a bye run. So the Norwegian pilot on Kenda tires is going to get
those
the bye
Kenda
run.
tires are strong as hell, man. That's what I'm rocking.
Jonathan Hurst in the grade 8. So we'll lay out and listen to
They
this
get
Mark 5
punctured and
Toyota
it's your
Supra.
work.
Congratulations, Simon Olsen. And hopefully Ken Shiroguchi can get his car back together, and we'll see him back out there. Get dialed in as he talked to Cerise earlier today.
Oh, came a little short there. Nice, Olsen.
There by Simon Olsen. He will have to wait quite a bit here to go against Jonathan Hurst, but he is 3 points richer. So again, the format and the way you do earn points is you have to win or advance on. So bye run is a win. He will advance on. Again, 3 points richer here in seeding brackets. 10 points in the main event.
Yeah, and for Gucci, he had a pretty big oil leak in practice, so hopefully that didn't cause more damage. So let's take a look. This is an interesting battle.
Odie, what are you doing? I mean, again, just a real contender, 2nd overall in the championship, 3rd overall. I mean, this gentleman is in the championship talks every season, and here he is going against Noback. When I saw Noback in the chase position, he was kind of struggling here and there, so I'm wondering, you know, what's going on, what's cooking with him. You know, Noback definitely a fierce competitor. Here he is. He's going to be leading that field suspension S vehicle. All right, here we go. Nick Noback initiating. Strong out front is Nick Noback. Baby, don't look back, Nick Noback. Look at that. Again, look at that. The white wheel's just standing out. The black wheel's up. Oh, he goes off course. The power out. Ooh, that was...
I was like, yeah, he's going insanely quick.
Odie does not need to complete the entirety of this run. This is what I was talking about. Don't know exactly what's going on with Noback. Would love to wrap out maybe a spotter.
He was locked in until he pulled the James Dean right there.
He didn't spin once, but he spun
twice.
so
Exactly what James did last year.
Do you have any info?
No, it's just strange though because Noback traditionally does quite well on bank tracks. I did see a pretty
lovely.
large correction.
Left foot braking a little bit to get that extra angle.
I wonder if you can even watch the smoke kind of disappear. Look at the wavering.
And it gives that big angle right there.
At that point, pretty much gone, and thankfully
it was way too fast.
The big light stand in the middle of the track, because that would not have been good. But yeah, for Nick Noback, as I said, I mean, he had that perfect event way back in Irwindale a few years ago. He's just traditionally done well on these big bang tracks. So for him to struggle in practice and struggle today and in that battle, that is very out of form for Mr. Noback.
Okay, now we're going to alternate the positions, but Odie will be out front. He's got the clean air, and Nick Noback with the deficit here, going off course into that power alley and shooting off. Definitely an incomplete. Now Odie Bakchis, he just needs to keep the rubber against the road. Noback's going to try to force an error, but I think this is just where, again, treating it like a sparring match. Odie Bakchis doesn't exactly push exhaustively hard up to that outside zone, now into that third outside zone. See, he even escapes it a little bit, doesn't get
okay. I get why Odie missed that wall. Maybe because he's playing it safe, because this is season
advantage. So Odie
he don't need to go that hard yet.
But unfortunately for Nick
unless
Noback,
it's top 32 or top 16
on that first battle, that will be all she wrote for Noback. Odie Bakchis will get the win.
Yeah, and really strange from Odie Bakchis as well, just not getting all the way up to the wall. I don't know if he's just playing things overly safe at this point, but traditionally he is a driver we see completely on the wall all the way through. Look at a bit of contact there from Noback. So I didn't catch that on that first go-around, but this drone view in our airforce.com replay really gives you that true serum and shows you everything that's going on with these cars. So yeah, I didn't catch that, but missing that entire zone, very out of character for Odie Bakchis.
And you could see where the previous outside zones were, where the, watch this, when they come off this bank, look how fast they are just absolutely ripping. Justin Smash, Aaron on the Truth Serum, but you can see where the previous outside zones and the track course was. So some small massages, modifications to the track that I think has a faster and a more natural flow from previous years. I know in the drivers' meeting earlier this morning, Jeff Jones brought up, hey, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And basically, thank you. It's good.
Yeah.
It's got just a more organic flow to it. As far as leaving the outside zone 1, going to the power alley. Later on outside zone 2, you could see that, but let's make it official. Odie Bakchis advances on into the Great 8. Nice calligraphy pen there. Do you know how to write calligraphy?
No, I just thought it would help with my writing, but it has not. It's one of those, you buy the nice tool and hope it does.
Do they have a lot of calligraphy pens in Canada?
They have tons of them.
Do they?
Yeah, it's big fun.
I had no idea.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. I'm referencing Jacob's inquisitiveness about birds and the size of birds in Australia.
There's giant birds in Australia.
Let's go, Dan!
And Masuyama joining the conversation once again.
I'm so happy that they finally added Dan's car in the FD pack. I was driving it last night on the Seattle track. Lovely car.
Manoa's dad, Hiroyo's dad, actually got to drive. He was an absolute drifting legend. But right
there
now,
we go.
Initiating Masuyama, the Junior race in the Babe livery, has to fall back a little bit. Brad Dan keeps on keeping on in that first outside zone. We're going to have to run that back and take a look at the replay. But Brad Dan fills all that third outside zone, dialing in on the front. Boom, right there, you can see that yellow box. So don't
see that little slowdown right there? Yep.
Look at the box on the ground. That cone is for red.
He drove it just like I was driving it last night. That's crazy.
And where they need to navigate towards point the back end and the front end of that vehicle, and that's an indicator. But look at the box on the ground. Let's take a look at it again.
Yeah, so right off the go, it takes Rad Dan just a bit of a stutter to get that car out. And it does make a big correction,
I think the car was a little too gripped up. He couldn't flick it
just
properly.
A little bit, but he is able to get things regained as they get through that first outside zone. Dan adding a bit more angle coming off the bank. Does a good job through outside zone 2, but for Wataru, kind of struggling to really get back into it. He had an amazing time in practice, but now that he's kind of into this battle, a little more pressure on his shoulders.
Isn't the car following? Isn't that Daigo Saito's car?
But I will say
or am I
that
tripping?
the not amazing initiation from Rad Dan did definitely throw things off a little bit, but that's not going to completely wreck an entire run for a chase driver. He Wataru was able to get back into the battle. Does have to cut some zones here to get that proximity back.
Yeah, definitely disrupted, threw a bit of a roadblock for Masuyama, but like you said, wasn't absolutely detrimental,
No.
and you can keep on keeping on. So Dan Burkett, we'll take a look at this. I think this is going to be really indicative of who advances on. Masuyama has the clean air, jumping across
Masuyama?
the pond. And, we have seen him compete in FD before in S15 previous years, and now comes back.
First time I'm hearing of him.
Very capable Jerry Yang Racing prepared.
He's driving Daigo's car? Or is that his car? That just looks like Daigo's car.
Right all over this battle and the wall. Wedge right in. Masuyama massive win on the first
Driving the crap out of that car, though.
Composure. Now the second outside zone. Dan Burkett mating in that smoke. In that third outside zone goes Masuyama. Man, looks like he's been driving this vehicle all season. Now transitioning in that last outside zone. Up tight, close in front of the fans. Masuyama delivers out front.
Well,
sir.
What an opportunity for him, too. Taking that bit of time off, getting that call from Jerry Yang going, hey, we got a seat for you. Would you like to jump in? Really prove yourself. This is massive. So if Wataru can
Okay, so it is Daigo's car.
use every
Okay.
single bit of it, this could be huge for him. And
He got
his
an
career
opportunity to
moving
drive in
forward.
FD, but he's driving
right off the
Daigo's
bat,
car.
right to the wall, all the way through. Rad Dan does a really good job here. Has to come out of the smoke a bit, maybe refine the side of Masuyama's car.
Daigo is just like Von Gittin, he's a big boss of his big establishment with Toyota. So it makes sense that he'll be busy and stuff like that.
So maybe the chase needs that little bit more work, but Rad Dan looked pretty good other than that one transition where he mistimed it. So I would say both drivers have some things to clean up on, but for me, this is a fairly tight battle.
Yeah, it's mistakes on either side, but some really good driving on either side as well. So just kind of where does that scale go? Which driver outdrove the other, put the car in the right places. So there's Rad Dan Burkett leading on the left, like we said, that kind of launch got a little interesting there. Masuyama chasing him down. Now you can see Masuyama out front on the right, fills it, and that's what you talked about, just checking up a little bit there for Dan Burkett. But Masuyama did something very similar there, going to third outside zone. So timing is everything, going from the big bank into that power alley, transitioning into the third, because again, like I was talking about, that flow, you need to time it still regardless of that flow. Yeah. All right, here we go. Slide him left for Dan Burkett.
It goes to Masuyama.
Right Masuyama.
Yeah, I figured.
It looks like Masuyama will
yeah,
get
they'll
the
fall
victory,
Dan for that
unanimous. So
that entrance that he did.
This weekend is Robin Ishida, and as all season, we have seen Brian Egger and Reese Marin. So Vernon and Robbie are sharing duties.
Splitting the duties.
The duties. So 4 rounds per our international judges, and just like that, halfway through our Type S top 16 bracket. But didn't see you at Type S Nightlights last night.
No, I was here for the Drivers Summit.
Yep.
It was a big meeting talking about the future of the sport, so it was really interesting.
It's always great to go to those town hall meetings, see what's going on, State of the Union, what's
Let's
going
go,
on.
Castro.
It's all about perspective. Drivers, organizations, sponsors, things, stuff.
Let's climb up
There's
those
so
positions.
Much perspective
Come on.
there, so it's great to be there. But we had a blast last night. Type S Nightlights presented by Larry Chen.
Yeah.
Presented by obviously Type S and Toyota Gazoo Racing. Speaking of Gazoo Racing, Jonathan Castro in the chase position. D-Mac.
Come on, get up there. Damn it.
High on the bank, Castro very low. He needs to work his way up. Madison a little squirrely Dan there. Squirrely Mads in that chase position. Now second and the third outside zone. Madison put the car in the right place. Castro just a little buffering there in that chase. Just failure to launch to get into those outside zones. Now finds that spot.
Yeah, it looks like his car keeps, I don't know. That's probably looking like a car issue.
But by comparison, Madison to Castro.
It looked like he was giving it full throttle,
Madison,
but the car was just not.
We've got a little text chain from all the drivers where we can get updates from him. And his team let me know that.
Yeah, he came in shallow, meaning his car should have shot through like a rocket near
just
him.
to make sure that they're able to get through this. And it does. It looks
yeah,
great.
yeah. Look,
I mean,
he almost went straight there for a second.
Maybe take a bit of grip grip out of the car, see how it drives. But
yeah, it's definitely a car right there. That's the car bugging
really,
out.
really good.
Probably didn't set it up right.
Castro, I mean, nothing really bad in the chase, just a little bit further back than that. Really
You need to climb up through the seatings, Castro. Come on.
Normally drives in the chase, so maybe knowing or talking to that team, understanding there might have been an issue, leaves that bit of a gap. But man, whatever they changed in that car, let's just keep it that way.
So Derek, you just need to crash more and it'll work out in your favor. I'm joking. Yeah. But you know, it's one of those things where you kind of get it out of the way. You're like, all right, I'm good. I saw it, wasn't bad. We can rebuild it.
Yeah.
We have the technology. Boom. You know, it's kind of like I know a lot of my freestyle moto homies, like they get a brand new dope helmet. It's painted by Troy Lee or Air Tricks, right? They drop it immediately because they know they're going to drop it eventually. Drop it. Yeah. Right,
oh my God, he almost kissed that wall.
Castro, the Toyota GR86 Meppel vehicle. Again, getting his first ever podium earlier.
This side of the camera is not really showing how
the Castro already.
Yeah, it's not that close to the wall at all.
Power alley, both of them exceeding a little bit in that second outside zone. Castro now, look, you can see him pushing and extending a little bit further, but you can see him, no pun intended, drifting his way back there. That allows Madison to get up close and personal.
Then again, this is seating, so it's a possibility. A lot of top level drivers are playing it safe a little bit. You don't want to get the car damaged.
But that was just such an incredible
before you
move
even hit top 32.
Not something he normally pulls off, but yeah, kind of the Castro front, a little bit lower in the bank, lots of speed. Madison has to check up as they come through here, pushes a bit wide, and then this is where Derek starts to make that dive in. Castro a bit shallow through that zone. Inside clip looks good. Right here, look at this transition from Mads.
Nice.
Right in there, right into the side.
Time.
Yeah, so good. So whatever they change in that car, don't touch a thing. Maybe fix it, but just don't touch anything.
Just refine it.
Yeah.
You know, again, a lot of it has to do with the driver. He was shallow on the outside zone 3, going from 2 to 3. Like you said, Castro was short, so was D-Mad. So, you know, as flowy as it is, you need to carry a lot of momentum going from 2 to 3 because it is so large.
Yeah, and the new line that they've got laid out really, really shows that off a lot. So let's take a look at our BC Racing custom coilover side by side here. Both drivers, a little bit of a gap in some spots, couple of checkups. Yeah, second outside zone looks pretty.
It might go to the other driver because the other driver's car looks more relaxed while Castro looks like he's fighting the car a little bit.
Driver, outside zone. Derek really, really closes things up.
So they might give it to the other driver.
That's a tough battle. I'm stoked that Derek threw down like that, and for Castro, I mean, a driver that was in the grade 8 here last year, maybe keeps pushing like that.
Yeah,
all right,
I had a feeling.
Derek Madison does get the victory, advances
all right,
on.
Derek.
So some food for thought there for Jonathan Castro, something to chew on, maybe
that
review
sucks.
the tail of
It
the
is
tape.
what it is.
What did he do well? What did he do wrong? So as we are finding out that Dmitry Brutzky has called a competition timeout. Brutzky to go against Federico Sceriffo, but he has called the competition timeout. So you can see the pits right there just off course. And again, thank you to our judges. We've had the same judges, and we will through the entirety of the season. That is Brian Egger and Reese Marin. But the international judges, Vernon Zvanveld and Robin Ishida, they share duty. So each of the judges does 4 events. So Robin Ishida joined us here in Seattle, and joining the likes of Reese Marin and Brian Eggert. All right, we are hearing that Brutzky is
that's
out,
crazy. You usually don't see that many people, watching seatings.
So he'll work on his vehicle.
Even though they're there live in the event, they're probably shopping, buying merch, walking around looking at the cars. They usually wait until the end of the top 32 or top 16 to go,
right in the center. Wave
to get ready to go watch the whole thing.
High 10, and there are judges. Looks like RCP. Oh, look at this. No, we don't let you out.
Federico Sceriffo, the Ferrari driver. Let's get it.
JDM Abraham Lincoln down there. He looks good. 4-7 years ago. Here we go.
Look at the negative and positive of that camber. Oh my God. Oh, we go. Okay. That initiation got me worried a little bit. Oh, that thing is gripped up.
Pretty sick. So, a very iconic vehicle.
You can hear it. You can hear it from the camera. Yep, it's hella gripped up. You can hear the tires shrieking.
The vehicle in the building.
It's amazing how he drives that big behemoth car. It's just it's insane.
It's gone through so many different power plants.
I just think he needs to get that flux capacitor. I think that would really just. I think that's the secret. I think that's the secret sauce.
I think, yeah. At this point, I mean, maybe he'll be the first hybrid car that we have here in FD.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, that's. I mean, he's checking off all the boxes.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah,
try
I mean,
it.
Ferrari,
Let's go for it.
you know, Ferrari, it's why not?
Yeah.
Yep. 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 Okay,
Let's
moving
do it.
on. All right, so we are now 3/4 of the way through our Type S Top 16. Like I said, a beautiful day here. Yeah, so Type S nightlights, man.
Is
Thank
that
you to Rio's
Hobson?
Garage. Thank you, of course, to Larry Chen, Type S.
Yes, sir.
SG
Hobson's
Suspensions,
next. Let's go,
and,
Hobson.
Toyota Gazoo Racing, North America, brought out some cars. Dude, it was packed. It was
And
bonkers.
Shelly's
Adam's
next.
even
Or is that
a burnout
Shelly's
around the,
husband?
Like roundabout.
It's probably
Rio's
Shelly's
like,
husband.
Yeah, dude, light it up. He lit it up, and it was his comp car. Like, he just handled that thing like it was a rental. He paid extra for the insurance and drove it like it was a Chrysler Pacifica or a stow-and-go minivan. All right, so there are our 6 of the 8 of the top 16 advancing on. Next up, Sorenson and Stuke, and Rudy Hansen and Ben Hobson. Beautiful day here. Bit of a heat wave going on in Southern California
That's
right now.
what I hear, yeah.
95 right now, and a little bit wet on the East Coast. I know Brian Egger, he's coming from Richmond.
Oh.
It's rainy there, but right now we're the envy of the country. So right now, Ben Hobson, he swapped out his tank top for the race suit. He was up here with James Dean, his teammate, and he was just chilling, man. He was vibing. And Ben Hobson said,
Yeah,
back
okay.
in Georgia, he had to mow
It's
the
Shelly's
lawn.
husband,
Now he's about
okay.
to mow down Rudy Hansen.
I was
Or
right.
is he? Can
Come
Ben
on, Hobson, you
step
can't keep
up?
smiling through all the
Here in his sophomore
failures.
season, Rudy Hansen, we know he's very capable.
Let me chill out. Let me
And
chill
his
out. I love
lovely
Mustangs. I love
definitely
RTR.
talented and would love to see it coming together.
He'll
You see that
improve. I mean,
20%,
look at Adam
28%.
LZ.
Ben Hobson, we know he's
He
very
wasn't that
capable
good
of being a
either.
pro spec
So
champion,
it's all about time.
making the
That
jump
seat
to
time.
pro, getting behind
Pretty
the
soon
wheel
Hobson
of,
was gonna be
definitely
looking
a
like a
highly
pro
coveted
out
seat,
there.
the RTR Ford Mustang, but you got to drive that thing like James Dean, like Von Gittin Jr. No holds barred, no holding back, and Ben Hobson.
It is a
always
Mustang.
got a
You
smile
can't
on his
hold
face,
back.
But to be even bigger,
Gotta be on that throttle.
Here we go. First step, you got to get the victory here. Again, this is seated brackets.
There we go.
Who's advancing on, but we know both are.
Oh my God, I thought you hit him.
Rudy Hansen initiates across the nose. Up,
Nice.
RTR Spec 5.
Bring it in.
Rudy Hansen,
A little bit
angle
more.
from him, Ben Hobson settled. You can see them coming on in, the flapping of the carbon, the fiberglass, and the urethane. Now into that power alley. Here goes Hansen.
Ah,
Ben Hobson
too early,
drives
too early.
inside, way shallow.
Yeah.
Car grips up, shoots on in.
Deflected
That
too
inside
early.
Clip now into this last outside zone. Rudy puts it right there. Ben Hobson
Now
does
let's see
find the
how
sweet
he
spot
leads. His
eventually,
lead run
but
goes.
Maybe too little, too late as the car gripped on
If
the
he
transition
gaps
across the
Rudy
Power Boulevard.
and
Like
leaves
I
him a
said,
couple
what was
feet
an alley
behind,
is now a
he might
freeway,
get the win.
because we went from 2 lanes to 4 lanes.
Yeah, that extra width has made all the difference in so many of these battles already. But let's take a look here. Rudy Hansen, not a ton of angle coming to that bank, really trying to just run away as much as possible from the RTR. Ben transitioning really, really early after the second outside zone, but does a great job to kind of make up for it.
Oh, they missed that
Rudy
zone
taking
right
a
there.
fair bit of time coming through 3.
That's one
That
tiny
inside
ass zone. It's like a
back
little
inside
tiny
before-
box.
To our last outside zone. So, yeah, I mean, Rudy, he's just trying to outrun that Mustang. It is such a fast car, but for Ben, this transition right here, that is where it got really, really rough for him. But he does do a great job of making up for it, kind of missing out on that entire zone. But
What zone?
he's able to utilize
Those
that
tiny-ass
cutting
boxes
point
is
to
zone?
get back into the chase and get
More
some
like
score
a
for
touch and
Hansen
go.
on our fourth and final
That's
zone.
what I
So,
call a touch and go. I don't call
you
that
know,
a
it's
zone.
a bold
You just
strategy, as they say.
put
We'll
one
see how it
tire in
works
it
out
and you
for
keep
him as we
going.
Swap things back around, and now Ben Hobson out front. Is Rudy going to be able to keep up?
What I like about this.
Hobson flicked that thing, put it in the wall like James Dean. There we go. Oh shit, he actually did it. He's doing it. This is what I was talking about. Gap his ass. He did it. It's over. Now he just gotta finish the line.
Into this third outside zone.
Ah, damn it, Hobson.
Like I said,
You
that
missed
is
that
big,
zone.
man. It's you know, you're burning a lot of tire there. That wheel speed, the car grips up.
Okay, that
So
was
this
some
is what
James
they
Dean
wanted.
shit.
Again,
I was not
think it
expecting
flows a
that. That
lot
was
better,
awesome.
But that transition from 2
That was
to 3
awesome. I
is
wasn't-
coming up just a little bit
I wasn't
sharp for some of these
expecting it to be
drivers.
that close to the
it's
wall and
strange.
blowing
I mean,
that,
it could
that
be-
much smoke.
We are seeing a bit of a temp drop. We are going to be seeing the track change a lot here.
Oh my
as
God, he
the
was
change throughout
on
day.
the wall.
I don't know if maybe that has
He's
something to do
kill-
with it.
he got
Yeah,
even
Ben
closer.
Hobson just putting on the jets. to
That's
that first outside zone.
insane.
That is what I thought he was going to do. His cars are very, very quick going around the bank. And really for Rudy, just trying to fight
Oh,
back in
okay.
the battle, but for Ben,
Okay, I gotta say, the Mustang is so long. From his perspective of the car, he feels like he was in that zone. But the body kit of the Mustang is so long, he probably thinks he got into the zone and didn't put the car too far out to hit the wall.
This is what I was
But
going to talk about
his tires weren't nowhere near the zone.
I would love to see.
It's like a perception that messes with you with long cars, especially with the JZXs and the Mustangs. And any type of long-ass cars, it'd be like that. You think you're in the zone, but you're not, because the car is so far back there. It's too long.
Now cars are braking.
Yeah.
So that's what's interesting here is like you're asking for this. Do we just go down to 16? These are all topless conversation you heard about in that. In the
I bet he thought he was in that zone, but he wasn't.
Really
Wasn't nowhere near it.
It's a war of attrition this far in the season as well.
It's a great point.
It's tough. These vehicles are breaking a lot. We had what, 2, possibly 3 engines and a transmission.
This one's gonna get. I feel like this is tricky.
Yeah, there's a lot.
They
going
both
on,
missed zone. He missed a little tiny
tough.
box
It's just
zone,
very
while
tough at this
Hobson
point of
missed
year. You go 5 rounds.
second zone.
Then you show up here where you're at full throttle for what, 10 seconds, which that's a full quarter-mile drag race right there, right? if you think about it. And
honestly, if that was my choice, I would give it to Hobson.
Just keep swimming.
Amazing level. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That is fair. Let's go. That's fair.
How are you wearing a sweatshirt?
Let's go, Hobson.
Right,
Got that one more time. Let's go.
Was he run the steps?
Yeah, Little Rocky.
Little Rocky.
That's what we call him, Little Rocky.
Yeah, that is what we call
his name.
Yeah.
We got Brandon next. Let's go, Brandon.
All right, moving on to our next battle. So we'll see them one more time, the OMT, and another guy we did not expect to be here. Once in the top 5, Sorenson. And going against Daniel Stuke.
Yeah.
So Daniel Stuke.
Stuke!
And now Brandon Sorenson.
Stuke is an amazing. He did amazing.
With the way that the point setting is now, with the 10 points per, it's it kind of knocks you down pretty quick. And having 2 rough rounds, that's what's going to happen. So consistency is so massive in this series. You have to be, top 16, top 8, every single one just to be.
Okay, their numbers aren't that far apart. That's awesome.
Brandon Sorenson, this is do or die for him and for Stuke, who's really starting to come to form.
Let's go, Sorenson. Let's go make it back up to the top.
All the momentum in the world against a driver that's struggled the last 2 rounds.
And I know you're always a fan of Stuke's vehicle, keeping it lightweight. And here we go. Sorenson out front, that United States Air Force BMW. We know how talented this driver is.
Oh my God!
Run down out here with
Don't put that nitrous on 100.
Not a factor at all. It's just an all Brandon Sorenson show out front. Fills that second outside zone. Good transition, man. Probably one of the smoothest and cleanest going to that 3rd outside zone. Pass that inside clip. Dials in on the last one. That allows Stuke to get to the side of him. And Brandon full pull.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was interesting watching Brandon Sorenson through that first outside zone because the car looks kind of soft. Just every time he's pulling the handbrake. Well,
if I was his,
squat down when he's getting back to the throttle,
the guy that talks to them in the ear, I forgot what it's called. But what I would tell him to do next is just play it safe. Be near Stuke's door, not too close. But just keep the proximity near him a little bit, play nicely, keep it smooth, and then it's our win. That's what I would say. Because it's not top 16, there's no need to go super hard.
You talk about, soft, but maybe a looser setup. We talked about Derek Madison, and here we are looking at our seating brackets, and again, some drivers, didn't really do well in St. Louis. That's why they're here. We talk about Brandon Sorenson, we're talking about Bakchis, right? The looser setup might favor that, especially the float going from outside zone 2 to 3. That softer setup could really favor the drivers here, and I'm sure all the drivers that are already pre-seated are taking note of that, and obviously all the technicians.
Yeah, a lot of them are sitting up in the stands right now watching, and they are definitely taking notes.
Competition as well as car setup. Daniel Stuke out front, Brandon Sorenson tip to tail. Dropping into Justice Smash on the drone, and there it goes. Brandon Sorenson not even giving him an inch. And Stuke, you can see right there some wavering from him, but Brandon Sorenson keeping it pinned on the door of Stuke. Where is Sorenson? Boom.
Yep. There we go.
Catch an early flight home from
Got a little too close for comfort there, but
now transitioning into that
just keeps proximity and play it safe.
Brandon not as deep, but
Beautiful.
Stuke flirt with that wall.
That's our
and
win
you fight
right
the wall,
there.
and the wall
That's Sorensen's
always
win.
wins. And I'll tell you what, that wall here in Seattle, it has claimed some victims. Just talking about the cars, obviously, and everybody walked away, but it is unforgiving.
Yeah, and Stuke gets that initiation done, gets the car as close to the wall as he wants, but not a ton of angle throughout that first outside zone. But Brandon, as Stuke's coming down off the bank, trying to just throw a bit more angle to get pushed up there. Brandon does a good job of adapting all the way through. Stuke, good job through the second and third outside zone, but the whole time, Sorenson all over the side of him throughout the vast majority of this run. Outside of the first outside zone, though, Stuke's got a really, really solid line all the way through that run. It's just not able to get the car up onto the bank early and hold it there. Just a tough go through that section, something they'll have to work on and go back and take notes, but the rest of the run for Stuke looked really good.
Let's see, Sorenson or Stuke, and Brandon
Come on,
Sorensen
that wasn't
gets the
even
victory unanimously.
Can't even think twice
Also,
about
the fans
that.
tuning in, tell your friends we are live around the world. Fans are saying that Bakchis will win the seeding bracket. Again, here he finds himself in seeding bracket, and he'd love to be dominant. 3, 6, 9, 12 points richer. When we come back, we'll be seeing the one more time battle of Hansen and Hobson, your defense lawyers, when we come back here at Formula Drift Throwdown.
Drifting's not just a sport.
When he was talking to the judges, that was one of the mic drop moments.
Yeah, well, what's crazy is, hey, congratulations, Reese Marin, the first ever current standing judge winning an event while being a judge. So, yeah, try that, bro.
I think he's got more on the go, too.
There we go. All right, here we go. The one more time battle between Hansen and Hobson. Rudy Hansen out front, the Team Hansen S chassis. Looks like we got a
they hit a cone.
Hit.
Yep.
All right, so there it is, a restart. Dude, put $20 on Dylan Hughes, you can win $460. So if you're in the building, bro. If you're in the building, put $20 down, and you're buying dinner.
See what happens.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bet around and find out. It's a nicer way of saying that, right?
Yeah, it's a good way.
It's better than what the kids say. You potty mouths, I'm gonna wash your mouth out with soap.
We got a 5 coming up here. That's interesting.
No, really? Comp timeout?
It's looking that way.
Oh boy, look at this. All hands on Hobson's deck.
Well, they're going to be driving back. The question will be when do they get hands on the car? But yeah, they're going to call it. So he's heading back to the pits.
All right. So Hobson.
Well, it's a good thing they hit that cone.
He had the guns out because he had a
he
tank
ended
top
up
on.
noticing something wrong with the car.
Looks like he's tucking in and taking shelter. All right. Right now we got a competition timeout. So let's take it from Turk as we take a moment with Ryan Turk, our defending winner here from Seattle.
What's up, guys? I'm Ryan Turk, and we're going to kick it back to some Network A days and some awesome memories on this Take It From Turk. Back in, I forget what year it was, when I was a lot younger, I had a very amazing time bringing Matt Powers and Michael Essa up to do some drifting at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the episode called Live Free or Die, Drifting in New Hampshire. And we just did a bunch of just amazing summertime fun stuff. Drifting on these super
I was
fast
really
access
excited
roads
when
in
he
New Hampshire
built that Time Attack Supra. I thought him and Osbo was finally going to be like a Supra duo on Papadakis' team. But that was not the case. It is what it is, though.
Getting ice cream at our favorite spot, driving up to Livermore Falls to go swimming at this really popular swim spot off this sketchy rocks where you land in between rocks.
How long
But
is
we're all
this?
young, so it didn't matter. Really risky, but a lot of fun, and that brings back just a lot of amazing.
Take it from Turk. Speaking of Turk,
I'm sorry, I couldn't wait
take
for
it from
that.
Turk that he can win here.
I love Turk,
So Ryan
but
Turk won here last year.
let's get the seedings over with.
And Adam LZ rounded out the podium here in Seattle. It was, again, I love this event. This is I've said it and I'll say it again, number 2 favorite track. The people, the vibe, the weather, the track overall. You really got to bring all of your weapons here to this gunfight because, like you said, I love that analogy. Quarter-mile drag strip, throw that thing sideways. Now with the Power Boulevard, tighten and tighten and tighten, and the funnel just narrows all the way to that unforgiving wall. So you really got to bring in here just some of the best fans, wildly educated, great scene here. Evergreen drift. So 2 minutes on the clock, and they're still pointing fingers.
I feel like drift cars should have pressure jacks built into them.
So it's interesting.
Like as soon as they pull up back to the pit, they just hit the button and the car goes boop.
Look at this. I'm slapping around.
Tires get changed or get checked. Whatever needs to get checked at the bottom gets checked on.
Look at the back end. So
and then as soon as they get down, to press the button and drop the car drops down.
Timeout rules. One competition timeout for seating. 5 minutes max. Repairs only. No setup or tire work. There are a couple of case scenarios where that could come in, but if that does, we'll let you know, and it looks like he's good to go.
And you said 1 per seating, and then Control-Alt-Delete, reset, another competition timeout for tomorrow. So Ben Hobson, don't know exactly what was wrong. We'll find out. It was misfiring, so we're finding out. So, yeah, some spark plugs, some timing. Don't know exactly what went down with Hobson.
Hopefully it's nothing too crazy, but they deemed it good enough to go back out there.
2.3 gigawatts, he's ready to go.
Yeah.
Rudy Hansen, Ben Hobson, back
Let's
to
go,
the start
Hobson.
line.
Do the exact thing you did on that wall. Gap his ass.
That burnout box
I like Shelly.
I'm
not a big fan of Rudy, but
2
big
days,
fan
a
of
little
Shelly.
bit of rain. Tuesday, Wednesday, from what I understand. My local weatherman, Randy Johnson, and Ryland telling me that some rain. And now got the forecast, some great weather, and the judges gave us some keys to victory. So this is what we're looking at.
Yeah, so get back on throttle immediately after initiation. A lot of drivers opting to just clutch kick or weight transfer to get it over. Yep, no, they really don't even want a handbrake through there. Consistently fill all the zones. Decel after you transition, not before. That is something they've been harping on all season. So once that car starts going the other direction, then you can start to slow down. It's changed a lot, changed some driving styles, changed some car setup things as well. But to me, it makes it a lot more predictable through those transitions, allows drivers to get back into the pocket a lot easier.
Back in the pocket. Here we go. Rudy Hansen out front. Hobson in the chase position. Those hot pockets just get
Oh!
Hobson, major mistake there. Falls out of drift. Hansen continues on. That's not what you want to see from Hobson. He continues on, but that's going to... Oh, and Hansen maxes out the angle going into that third outside zone. If Hobson was there, that would have definitely gotten his way, but not part of the equation, finishing out the run.
What happened? I know he had issues, but I thought they took care of it.
You bring
I thought
that
it
up
was just some
it's a big
spark plugs.
conversation that's been going on is if a driver makes a mistake, but the chase driver is not impacted by it, how does that affect what's going on? Because
I still think there's a deficit.
Yeah, there's still going to be a deficit with that mistake, but a lot of drivers would traditionally go like, oh, look at what he did, that should be incomplete or whatever.
I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. That was all on Hobson.
We'll bring that back in, but yeah, for
His
Hobson,
flick
I'm
looked
not sure.
natural to me.
Misfire coming back to on him, he gets through the rest of the run.
Yeah, right there was a mistake, but that was like mad late. Hobson was mad far away, so that doesn't even bother being Hobson's fault at all.
Now Ben, who's right there with him, and Ben made contact with him, that could be ruled towards Rudy, or towards Rudy causing the fault in that case, because Ben was right there. But because Ben was so far back, although Rudy did make a massive mistake, it didn't have as much impact. So Rudy got a little bit lucky on that one. Either way, not what you wanted to do.
Ben straighten out.
Let's see. Adam Jabebe is tuning in right now.
I'm a big RTR fan, but we gotta call it like how it is.
That's all you got.
This win is already. This battle is already over. It's going to Rudy.
Get some texts. He's always saying how much he loves the battles and the stream. He's just a big
just being Midwest guy. Whittling away. Speaking of whittling away, let's see Ben Hobson whittle on his wall. Gonna go down to the whittle wall. Here we go, Hobson. Now
Jesus Christ, that car is fast.
That left foot brake. Look at that front right. Looks like he's chalking that thing up, ready to hard park that thing into the second outside zone, into the power alley, into the third outside zone. Goes Hobson. Is this too little, too late? Because Hansen is.
Ben needs to get on the sim and practice, bro. I can see he's got a lot of potential. Maybe that's where Von Gittin sees it.
Yeah, it's gonna play
I can see it too, but
mistake on,
I feel like he just needs a lot of seat time.
Yeah, because it was pretty bad, but he was able to get through the rest of the run without incident after that. Ben Hobson got all the way up to the bank, but that big left foot brake, as we see there, and for Rudy, just trying to get back into the battle. Left foot brake, anything he can do just to get that car at angle back up towards the wall and try to pick up some proximity, but Ben still struggling to get that third outside zone. Inside clip, not too bad. Outside zone 4 looks solid. Yeah, for Ben, really just, you don't know what kind of mechanical demons he's fighting right now. They've had that timeout. They took a look at a few different things with the car. So I'm interested to understand exactly what the problems are. I might have to pry some information out of them a bit later on. But for Ben, I don't know, as you said, if that's going to be enough to be able to take home the win here against Rudy. But I could understand, you know, if it, there are some scenarios where it could go the other way as well.
Okay, moving on along. Who is going to be the last driver in the grade 8? Rudy Hansen gets the win. Hobson knocked out. So Hobson, him and his team are going to work on the vehicle, try to get it dialed. And you can see in the background there, birthday boy Jonathan Hurst got Steven Olsen in the burnout box.
Ex-teammates, I mean, rode together for a long time. They hang out quite a lot. I got the opportunity years ago to go to Norway with both of them, and yeah, there's definitely a very competitive but maybe friendly rivalry between the two of them. I think once it gets down to battle, that the friendliness disappears, though.
Yeah, definitely goes out the window.
Yeah,
I mean, look,
just all opponents. At that
look,
point.
if we're going into battle, like you're a friend, but if we're going to battle, screw you,
gone. Yeah,
you're out, dead to me. Oops. Jacob getting out of here. Cool. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Simon Olsen, Jonathan Hurst, the battle, two friends, no way. Gloves are off. Bare knuckle fight. Going that first outside zone. Look at Simon Olsen,
oh my
brother.
God.
That car is on rails.
Yo, yep.
The Meatloaf, Mom.
Yep.
Meatloaf, what is Norwegian Meatloaf doing out here?
I had a feeling.
Wow, that inside clip. Simon was dialed though. From a distance, that was
good.
That was really
awesome.
good. And Jonathan Hurst just was slowly creeping out like Homer into the weeds.
Yeah.
He
Hurst,
shredded the crap out of those Kenda tires.
Through in the chase and then wasn't able to make up the rest of the pace there. But yeah, for Simon Olsen, on throttle immediately. Like almost no correction there on that initiation, and Hurst just either gets lost in the smoke or something goes on. But for Simon, right there, that car just doesn't want to grip up.
Get back.
And now 3 wheels off is our incomplete. I don't know if Simon ended up going 3 wheels off. If he can get that transition done though, from 1 to 2 without shooting off course like that, man, he is going to be an incredibly difficult driver to beat. Yeah, that was wild. A lot of it's just that initiation. He's on throttle all the way through it. So that was pretty nuts. I mean, considering equal power, 2 very, very different chassis.
Yeah.
The XLR for Jonathan Hurst and then the Super for Simon. Really interesting. They haven't gone battle. I went even double check these stats because I swore they'd gone head to head before, but I guess not.
Let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hurst out front, Mr. Cool, keeping it cool. Simon Olsen had those mistakes, so all right, let's get it tight and right, fellas. Come on, who's moving on to the final 4 here in our seating brackets? There goes the Cadillac out front, XLR, and Simon, look at just chomping at the bit, ready to get after it. There goes the Mr. Cool Cadillac, second outside zone. I feel like maybe Simon didn't have a reference looking in the rearview mirror earlier, but now, yeah, Hurst grinding. Woo! Simon, it is loud right now. Dude, 4th of July was just a bit ago, but the fireworks.
That was good. That was really good chase run from Simon.
Yeah, great run there from Simon and for Jonathan to be able to clean things up after that big mistake on the first outside zone. So shouts out to him for that. So Jonathan a little bit lower on the bank, and for Simon just holding that car back. You can tell he really wants to get onto it. He wants to get that grip in, wants to push the pace, but knows if he does it there, it can mean disaster for the rest of the zone. Good transition, gets that car back though. Would have liked to see Simon a little bit deeper in that zone. Hurst looks good. That's where we get our door tap. Then we get into our transition, and that is where both drivers sinking it into that last outside zone. And Hurst taking a bit more of a midline through the end of it, but Simon played it smart. I think he really wanted to go a lot harder than he actually did. You can almost feel him holding that car back for the entire thing. A bit of tension in his driving where he almost just wanted to completely clean through the door of Jonathan Hurst. But smart driving from Olsen, and Hurst giving his head a bit of a shake after that mistake, throws down a solid lead run.
Real quick, you wear the blue beanie. This dude leveled up with a blue helmet, and then Homegirl's got blue hair.
It's a blue place, man. Look, you got blue everywhere. It's very on theme.
Here we go. Simon Olsen sliding left.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Right. There goes Simon Olsen. Gets the victory and advances on. A great lead run. Did have some mistakes, but if he can hook that thing in, get his claws in it, going from outside zone 1 into the power alley, like you said, he is definitely going to be a threat for competition. But regardless, he's a threat right now in seeding brackets, and he's 3 points richer, advancing on into the Final Four. Making his way back to the pits. We'll see Jonathan Hurst tomorrow. You can see him in that slot right there at the end. And here we go, Arturo Masuyama. New photo, new headshot. Welcome back, Masuyama, getting the keys to that Ninjuku Racing, Jerry Yang Racing 3M GT Radial 86. That's what it is. Odi Bakchis in the field suspension S chassis, Ineos oil. What are you doing down here, Odi? Everybody's pulling for you right now online. They're saying Odi's going to win this whole thing, but Masuyama's got nothing to lose. Shows up, new ride, new look, new driver. Masuyama, everything to gain. Odi Bakchis, he's definitely got a lot to lose. He wants to get back in the conversation for championship and finish up out on top. There you go, Masuyama, good initiation, locked and loaded. That car, look at how settled that is, pulling away from Odi. That is very uncharacteristic. Odi, one of the best chasers in the business. And that second outside zone transition cuts through that smoke. Now into that inside clip, both of them running over the box. Perfect. Oh, we got a little tire fire right back, right. That thing will usually extinguish, and yes, it does. So, again, the tire debris building up and catching fire.
Yeah, the Jerry Young special, man. I mean,
Masuyama is an insane level driver. I can see why Dago would trust him in his car.
Both love to light up that tire.
And Forsberg notoriously as well.
Yeah, I mean, Adam, a lot of tire fires, man, but Masuyama, so solid considering the limited running he's had in this car, limited practice, everything else. He is incredibly comfortable with this entire package. And for, Odi, I think a little bit shook off that first outside zone, but does an amazing job of getting back into the chase. There it is, that tire fire sparking up nice and early as Odi makes that dive into the fourth and final outside zone. Man, this was a battle I was kind of hoping would line up because I was really interested to see how Masuyama was able to step up given the situation for Odi, what he was going to do and how he was going to adapt in the chase there. So for Wataru, I mean, even when they swap these things around, what's this going to end up looking like? But yeah, this is wild to see how quickly Masuyama has adapted to the power plant, the chassis, and the stress and pressure of having to come back and prove himself.
Well, he is no holds barred right now. Odi Bakchis out front. He's got the clean air, but this is where the winners truly shine in the chase position. Masuyama, like I said, nothing to lose here. This is absolutely everything to gain and prove he deserves to be here. They gave him the keys, so why not just show up and show out? Odi Bakchis now transition that inside clip. Masuyama threatening right there on the heels of Odi Bakchis, and fans again 60+% saying that he's going to win this.
Yep, that's Odi for you.
I mean, there's a 40% that's definitely cheering against him, and they might be right here. This is a. I mean, I'm just saying, Wataru not letting Odi
was a beautiful lead run from Odi.
At any point in time.
Masuyama's run was just insane, though.
How fast he can make that car.
So this one might be going to Masuyama.
Let him get away, and you can tell Odi really wants to get the pace out of this all the way through the first outside zone, push it nice and wide through the second. But for Wataru, not backing down at any moment.
One thing that I've noticed from all the drivers all over, whenever they come to Formula Drifts, they're able to handle the tracks a lot easier, because I feel like in other countries, their tracks is a lot more harder and technical than American tracks. American tracks are more wider and slightly curvy, you know, nothing too super technical.
Yeah, that was really fun. I liked both of their driving styles, aggressive. That first outside zone,
but in Europe and in Japan,
in the lead and the chase,
in
you know, I always
Dubai,
I say it, but I think it's glaringly obvious. I think the
Russian drifting as well, RDS. Their tracks are very technical, but the US ones is just so wide and lovely, like it connects to each other perfectly, making it nice and easy to flow into.
There's 3
it
parts
is hard,
to
obviously,
chase.
but
line,
just
the
not,
angle, and the proximity.
You know,
and the drivers that seem to be doing
crazy
really
hard.
well this season are the
because
ones
this Masuyama guy just showed up and he's driving the track like a
Here we
veteran.
go, slide him left, slide him right. Odi Bakchis.
I
gotta say that was.
I don't know how
narrow.
Odi won that, but okay.
It wasn't absolutely dominant by Odi, but I do agree. Odi just had that little X factor, just a little more sauce. But I'll tell you what, Masuyama got dealt a tough hand going there. Welcome back, but goes against. And looks, we got a little steam, a little fire, a little flames. What's going on here?
What
with Fetty,
in the world is going on with that Ferrari?
Looks like he's pulling.
Bro just pulled up to the line. He's already
pushing.
smoking.
Let's see what's going on here.
I think he's trying to get the cord off.
Yeah, Federico, get his comms off.
Bro, if y'all open that damn hood, what y'all taking so long for?
Okay,
That's one expensive engine right there.
Let's see. Initially thought it was like nitrous spraying, but yeah.
Really tough to say from here. I mean, a bit of a flashback to Long Beach a few years ago.
That was
rough. But
yeah.
Rebuilt and, oh man. He always animated Federico.
You can see under the hood of that mean Ferrari. It's off, and looks like still smoking a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like coming from maybe an oil feed line for the one turbo. Yeah, that would be my guess off the bat, but tough to say. So many components going on, you know, V12, turbo.
He should be happy it happened now instead of in top 32 or top 16. It happening right now is a good thing.
Definitely a unique vehicle, one of one.
Get it back to the pits and get it fixed.
Ferrari like this, drift machine in the world. Yeah, like you said, animated.
Yes, very animated.
A little chest pat there. And called the pump timeout earlier. So 2 drivers already in the final 4. We got Bakchis. He'll be going against Simon Olsen. Again, another, you talk about former teammates, Simon and Odie. And I'll tell you, Simon getting the knowledge, the driving prowess, maybe the car setup, took a lot of knowledge working with Odie, because I feel like jumping back behind the wheel of his Mach 5 Supra maybe changed the setup, and it's really working out. I think that Simon is definitely a different driver after working with Bakchis.
Yeah, it's been a big change, and I think what he's learned and what he's been able to get in confidence has led him to where he's at now, where he's making some big strides in that chassis.
All right, so bringing in one of our judges. He speaks on the judge's behalf and his perspective. Reese Marin down there. Reese, down to you, man. Welcome, good to see you.
Hey, what's going on?
Beautiful, beautiful Seattle. Again, Reese, congratulations. You're the first ever standing judge to win an event, first and foremost.
No, that's cool. We're good. We don't have to mention that no more.
No, I'm going to bring it up every round.
Oh, God, it's horrible.
Reese, the winner, Marin. What's up, bud?
All right, so we're going through this battle here. We definitely want you to pay close to the outside zone 2. There was pointed out from Masuyama. We do think that Odie did a better lead overall here. We can see here going into outside zone 2. Masuyama comes in a little bit shallow there, but the really thing that sticks out for us for Masuyama is at the end of outside zone 4, you see a very shallow attempt, almost a straight. You can see here, and straightens up. So that being said, we saw Odie had a way better lead. Masuyama had some errors in his lead. We ended up going with Odie for the win on that.
All right, fair enough.
I don't see it, but okay.
There it is.
I can't hear you. I
don't know. I called cap, but it is what it is. I'm not the judge.
All right, so yeah, what happened? Fetty just
I like Odie, but
weight? Is that what's going on here?
At the end of the day, we gotta keep it fair.
You know,
that's all.
I know the homie Grant Gutierrez is watching. Grizzly Goots, he's in the building, and he's watching. He's tuning in. And now we're. Do we know what happened with Fetty?
I have no idea. I've been hoping someone would text me.
Yeah,
that thing has 1,125 horsepower.
Not DM Derek Madison, but I'm talking about DM's the conversation.
Dang.
Federico Sceriffo pulling up to the line. Who's moving on into the final 4? D-Mads will lead. We talked about his car floating, a little looser setup. We'll see if that favors him here out front. Fiorella, the Ferrari at S Chassis, pulling away from Fetty, taking him to Gapplebee's for dinner right now. It's TGI Fridays. Man, all of a sudden, again, Hot Pockets, we're talking about food here. Obviously hungry. Madison, where are you going? Got the wrong directions. Goes 2 tires off. That will be a deficit, but not an incomplete. Out front now, navigating that last outside zone. Real on-off switch with the throttle. You can hear just the echoing of the motor and then back on the throttle. So we need that consistency and that flow
from both vehicles, and D-Mat's
Yep,
kind of,
it's smoking
off
again.
and on, a little herky-jerky.
Yeah, not terrible, but you can definitely hear it, you can feel it, you can see it with Derek Madison with the smoke trail. So first outside zone, really pushing it, not all the way out to the wall. He does a pretty good job there, but that correction partway through is what ends up pushing him wide. And for Federico, getting through this run, but just not keeping that proximity, does a decent job through most of these zones, but really we still need him in the fight. It's one thing to not give up all your line, but you still need to be at least within, fighting distance of the car in front of you. But for Derek Madison, other than shooting off wide, coming off a 1, I mean, not a bad run for a car that's hurt and not set up the way he originally intended it to be. But I mean, maybe the setup he ends up keeping for a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's just one of those things like that. Just jarred something loose, and that works out. So
yeah, they said the wreck really messed up the front knuckles, potentially the rear knuckles as well. He said just kind of like things are clicking and moving around, but yeah, take a little bit out of the car.
Looking to keep on ticking. Federico Sceriffo out front. Derek Madison chasing him down through the start chicane. Let's see Fetty's approach here. Transitions in, slow roll into it. It allows Derek Madison good proximity. He is lower. We need him to massage and get a little higher. But Fetty, you can see kind of just coming out of it, just a little touch here and there. And there, Fetty shuts it down. So, it just didn't seem 100%. I think both you and I were like a little cringy right there as far as initiation. You saw him kind of off and on, shuts it down. So D-Mads with a little customary thumbs up.
Yeah,
he knows he got the victory there and handed it to him, Federico Sceriffo.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what all happened with Fede, but I might touch base on a little bit later on, trying to understand what happened, and maybe down on power, maybe bigger things, maybe smaller things, who knows, but either way, not able to get through that run.
Are we singing Blink songs, all the small things?
Good start.
A little.
I mean, usually we save karaoke to the end of the year, but
yeah. What's your go-to karaoke song?
It's changed. I've been working on some stuff. I was always.
What are you dropping an album? What are you talking about?
Just just trying to I gotta show up for the party at the end of the year. I can't.
The Evanescence. Just tell him.
He could be. Yeah, wake me up. Yeah.
Before you go?
No.
That's George Michael. That's
now
Wham.
I'm confused.
What? I'm Drew Nienda? Here we go. Our final battle of a Type S Grade 8. Brandon Sorenson and Rudy Hansen. It's the battle of the Sens. Sorenson and Hansen.
Every once in a while we get these tongue twisters in, so we'll see how this one goes.
Oh, dude.
This one's a good one?
Dude, Kazuya Taguchi versus Kenshiro Gushi. That will go down in folklore.
I
know Sage is, I'm just within earshot of Ryan Sage. That was the legend.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. Go ahead and fire off. Kazuya Taguchi versus Kenshiro Gushi.
Yeah,
it's gonna be, I mean, it might happen. Kazuya's not drifting anymore.
If he
Wataru Masuyama versus Kenshiro Gushi.
That's good.
Federico Sceriffo.
Yeah.
Kenshiro Gushi.
The Cameron Sorenson, Connor Shanahan, Brandon Sorenson, Jack Shanahan.
Yeah. The Shansan.
Yeah, that one gets me.
Oh, I thought you said Sandstorm.
No.
Oh, my bad.
The Shanstorm?
The Shanstorm.
Yeah.
Brandon Sorenson, Rudy Hansen, having fun here on a Friday. Thanks for tuning in. We are live around the world here in our round of 8. Brandon high-flying Brandon Sorenson coming in that United.
Oh!
Zero chill Sorenson.
Yeah, Sorenson.
This bumper to the wall.
Kiss that wall.
Shut up. Here we go. Oh, buddy. Hansen makes an attack. Almost getting inside that BMW. This. Talk about sparring. Rudy Hansen now comes back into that last outside zone. What a lead run from Brandon Sorenson.
That was awesome, Brandon.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun
was a
driving
good run.
like this. Yeah, it may not be textbook. It may not be exactly what the judges are looking for, but you don't need to know a lot about drifting to look at this and go, that was a fun run. So Brandon Sorenson right into the wall right off the bat. Rudy Hansen, now he's got to fight back. He's really got to pick up the pace. We already know how fast Brandon is. Rudy takes that spot there to be able to start to dive in. And then through this transition, now he starts to strike one more time. But Brandon has got this car dialed. The confidence he's got to be able to huck the car into the wall like that, fills all the zones. For Brandon Sorenson, back on form, at least through this battle. And I really, really hope he can keep that going all weekend, because just another driver that's waking up right now and showing that he's a little pissed off and wants to prove a point.
Wake me up before you go. Some more George Michael for your diet.
Yeah.
Said just waking up.
So how many song references can we get in a day?
Oh,
I know.
Don't even.
That's a lot.
Don't even.
Don't start.
Yeah. Believing. Here we go. Rudy Hansen, Brandon Sorenson will be on the second half of this battle. One more driver to join the final four. We already got Simon Olsen, Odie Bakchis, D Mads, and which Sen is it going to be? Rudy Hansen or Brandon Sorenson? Hansen out front. He's been looking good out front with that clean air. Let's see if he can show up. Brandon, just blood is in the water, dude. The piranha is out right now. Look at this. Oh, he backs down a little bit. It's like got a little side eye there from Rudy Hansen, a side smirk with that front bumper in the second outside zone. Brandon was oh so dominant.
No, Brandon.
And bounces back. So this is you know, play silly games. Unfortunately, win some banged up prizes.
That's the tough part with driving that aggressive is when you're on the line, if you cross it at any point, it is not going to end well. And thankfully, Brandon Sorenson able to drive that car off track. Same with Rudy. I mean, there was a fair bit of contact through that run. So
he flicked it too much.
Get things back into our replay. How did this end up happening? So Rudy, I mean, a little bit low on the bank, but does pick up a ton of speed here. I think it kind of threw Brandon for a second, not realizing how much speed Rudy can pull out of that car. Second outside zone, but Rudy looks really good. And then through this transition,
he flicked it too hard. I knew it.
Touches the wall.
Rudy touches, but Brandon
he clutch kicked it.
I think it was
boom.
Perfect storm, and you saw
the car transitioned so quickly, and I don't think he was expecting the angle to increase that much. And he was near reacting time to pull it away from the wall. Quick flick, and then boom.
Brandon goes in and then comes back around. Now, was Rudy?
This is why you always want to keep the lead's front tires and the chaser's front tires aligned.
So you're allowed to decel there.
If you on the door and they're already near the wall, your car is going to be further back,
Brandon also,
and you're going to hit the wall. That's why you want your front tire to be with this front tire. It keeps you away from the wall. See, straight towards the door, and then straight into the wall. Boom.
I think in two independents, you nailed that one. That's
Damn, that sucks. That was a beautiful lead run by Sorenson.
Too aggressive, so Rudy went in, hit that wall. I think he could have come out of it.
All right, let's see what the judges say.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah, although
momentum.
This map doesn't actually have the momentum changes on it, but you are allowed to make a bit of a momentum change after the second outside zone into the third, but it's supposed to be after transition, and then you need to be back on throttle and pushing through the rest of the courses. Our workers there taking a look at what is going on. So we got Joe and Michael. It's supposed to be after transition.
This could be like, this map has the potential to be just like Riga. A long initiation inside. Boom, flick here. A transition here. A quick, so between zone 3, there could be a zone 4, and then zone 5 ends right here. We'll probably put it ended right here, and then they can go around this way to drive back into the pits. This map has potential to be exactly like Biker Niki Riga. I can see it. Just come out of zone 3, flick it real fast to zone 4 right here. Zone 5 going all the way around, ends right here, and then back into the pits. Definitely has the potential.
Back on throttle, pushing through the rest of the courses. Our workers there taking a look at what is going on. So we got Joe and Michael. Michael, most recent guest on the outer zone. Great conversation with him. Yeah, the fridge, the mayor.
Keeps it cool, dude.
Yeah, good convo. Some good tips too if you want to get involved with FD. He spills a couple of secrets.
He does? Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so great episode. But taking a look at the wall, making sure that everything is still in place.
All right, you can see how that tire debris just accumulates. That's why we need to sweep up, clean up. We got Tyler down there. Lewis, is that Luis? No, is that? All right, so got some photographers, some media. Thank you so much for all the hardworking staff, making sure track is up to snuff, clearing it out. We're good to go, but Brandon Sorenson, yeah. So they're going to work on that car, and whoever advances on going to get hands on it to go against D Mads in the Final Four. A lot of the drivers up here watching, tuning in and seeing what's going on. Notably, we got, a hunt for the championship. 3 rounds left, including this round. After this, we got Utah, we have not Irwindale, but we got Long Beach. LB2, baby. The Shoreline Showdown. Tickets available now. Act now. October 17th, 18th. Slide into Long Beach.
So judges, one more replay they're looking for. So Rudy, independent in, gets on that. Yeah.
Bang, bang.
I mean, that's how I'm seeing it. If the judges don't agree, I would love to get an explanation, but we'll see what they end up saying here as they take a couple more looks at this replay to really understand what's going on. Brandon is just coming in with a bunch of speed. He's trying to decel. He gets back on throttle to try and dig that car back out, but to me, it looks like he was always going into that wall. Whether you know, if he was in the lead, he would still be going into that wall with the amount of paces in there. So, yeah, it's really tough to say. But Rudy and Brandon definitely made contact after that hit, but it comes down to like why. I don't think Rudy could continue because of the hit right there.
Brandon's car snapped so hard, though. Like, it's like that bash bar in the back grabbed it, and it said nope, and that's why the front end so quickly, that front right just clapped into Rudy.
Yeah, and what the judges maybe want to understand is did something happen that caused Brandon to go into the wall, create that incident? That's more or less what they're going to be looking at this point. Either way, Brandon, you know, Rudy touches the wall a little bit. Looks like he's continuing on down the path. Brandon comes in, definitely touches the wall, comes around, hits the side of Rudy in the rear wheel. Rudy then pushed way offline, not able to continue. So that's how I see it, but maybe the judges go, okay, Brandon came in hot, but Rudy was not back on throttle at that point, or wasn't where he was supposed to be, or decelled in the wrong area, and that is why Brandon had to do what he had to do. That could be another thing that they're looking at, but we'll get an answer from them here shortly and be able to understand a little bit more as to what goes on in the brains of our skilled judges.
Esteemed judges, yeah. Judges, different backgrounds, you know, from drivers, former drivers, active judges, organizers. So,
holy
all right, here we go.
shit!
Sorenson, Rudy Hansen. So Sorenson gets the victory. Brandon
oh yeah,
Sorenson
they gotta explain that. They gotta explain that. What the fuck?
Derek Madison. So as our final four is set, looks like Reese would love some insight here. It looked like Rudy tapped and Brandon whipped in. Reese, down to you.
So what we see in this battle here, we see going into outside zone 2. We'll see it here. Outside zone 2, we're going to focus on, outside zone 3. See Rudy comes in, we see the transition come in. The way we're seeing it, Rudy comes in, enters the lane, leads the chase driver into the wall, doesn't get back on throttle like we would want him to do. It seems like he gets him back on throttle after the hit. Due to that, we're going to give Brandon the win here. Now you can see here, outside zone 2, we go into outside zone 3. The line of trajectory takes him in, deep, hits. And then the car that follows him afterwards is Brandon. So we feel that he was led into that.
Okay, I see. He came into that angle too early, shallowed it out, therefore sent the chaser like way more into the wall.
Right.
Makes sense.
He
I see.
Okay,
let's go. So Sorenson, I like it.
It's more so leading the chase where he wasn't supposed to be. We see a hit first by Rudy hit, and then the domino effect is Brandon afterwards.
But also perfect storm. Don't you think that the way Brandon's car reacted, it was a little more emulsified. It seemed more violent.
Right.
It looked like the car like whipped in.
Yeah, because he's the chase driver. He's trying to get into the pocket. Okay. He's trying to be aggressive. You know what I mean?
All right, cool. Well, there you go. Brandon Sorenson gets the victory. We'll see if he can get his car back up and running. I think this is a good trial run for them to see, like, if something happens tomorrow on game day, if he doesn't advance on. You're 3 points lesser, but you still want to move on. Speaking of moving on, Simon Olsen, Bakchis, former members, or team members, excuse me, from last year, but now Simon Olsen out front. Look at this, pulling away. And this is what I'm talking, dude. Simon's car is just so different from when he drove it previously from joining Bakchis, and now look at, boom, puts it right in there. Second and third outside zone into that front clip. Now navigating that final clip, Bakchis knows what to expect and has to back up. So look at this. This is
wasn't deep into the zone, so it might still go to Odie. If Odie leads and goes deep into the zones like he did before with Rudy, it's gonna go to Odie.
Yeah, these drivers.
Simon is flicking too quickly. He's getting too quick in and out of those zones a lot too quickly. He has to slow it down.
Odie trying to adapt to it as we come to our second. So Simon not able to really fulfill the whole thing. Odie does a good job of adapting.
He's too quick.
Just touching the edge of
when you pay attention to Odie's lead runs, Odie slows it down. Not to the point where it messes the chaser up. Just releases off the throttle a little bit, clutches it, because you can use the clutch to slow you down. Release off the throttle, clutches it, and the car brings itself a little bit slower, and it lets him adjust and put the car into the zone a lot heavier.
Kind of last-ditch effort there.
You know, Olsen is like in and out of the zone. He's not giving himself enough time to really settle the car in those zones.
Absolutely decided there. Right. So it's going to come down to this run, and I'm feeling Odie's going to let it all hang out. I expect a big, nasty.
Now watch.
He has
check this out.
To himself, to the fans.
Nice and quick, right?
And there.
Now watch how he's going to slow it down.
It looks
boom.
Like a photo.
First slow. Brings it nice and slow. Look how slow. Look at that. Look at that. Slows that pace down. And then we'll slow it down again right here. Beautiful.
Does a better job executing that zone in the chase than Odie did, but Odie allowed him to do that. He put the car in the right places, and that's a lot of what the judges are focusing on. They said, you can only have a good chase run if you have a good lead run. Here's the platform. Let me show you this as a lead driver, and I think Odie did that.
Yeah, in a way, they almost
that is so true. That is so true. If someone is giving you a good lead run, you as a chase driver is going to feel super comfortable. Because all the zones and space and everything, you have more room to breathe. You feel more relaxed. Following.
Completely got it gripped up in the fourth outside zone. Odie does a great job of filling that zone, keeping that door nice and wide and open for Simon to be able to dive in. So great run there from Odie Bakchis, who had a couple of little things in the chase and knew he had to step up to really try to move the needle more towards his side. Simon Olsen does a really good job in the lead, but his chasing a little more aggressive, man. Just a bit more aggressive.
This is I think, going to be really telling here. So Odie leading on the right, Simon leading on the left.
Yeah, we see the proximity, obviously, with Simon in that area, but then Odie in that chase is able to pick up a lot of it. But really, for me, Odie's lead run just looks so great. Checks all the boxes, fills all the zones, does a great job throughout this entire run. That gives Simon that opportunity to get in the chase. Simon's lead run really fast. He's got everything gripped up. He still looks really smooth, but I do think that maybe not getting those boxes completely filled might come back to haunt him.
So that's where I was going to say not as smooth as Odie. You said smooth, but I would venture to say just a little clickier.
Yep.
So
that's a good way of putting it. A little more staccato.
Okay, big words.
Told you, I'm working on the music.
So as we are getting set up here for our next battle, we'll see who the victor is. And there's Matt Sopa giving the verdict there. We're waiting, but maybe elaborate on the momentum areas.
Yeah, the track has been widened pretty heavily throughout, and this is to give a more natural arc as they come off the bank. It gives the drivers some more room to navigate, so they're not coming off and having to shoot off. Remember, if you go back and watch last year, you'll see a couple of runs where drivers really just have to get back on throttle and shoot through the rest of the course. This gives it a nice, smooth arc all the way through, so we go from the alley to the boulevard, as you say.
Yeah.
And I really, the difference has been night and day. It makes for such a great lead. It makes for such a great chase. And as you're looking at the track as we go throughout the weekend, you'll be able to see where those old lines were, the new yellow lines, to really give you an idea of how wide we've made a few of these sections. So, judges' decisions in.
Yeah, and this is where I was leaning. A good effort by Simon.
Let's go, Odie!
Just a lot cleaner, more sterile on that lead run. So, Odie Bakchis, congratulations. Looks like Simon Olsen should be getting third place here in our seating bracket. Now let's break it down. So again, that widening of the track areas.
Yeah, the pink spots that you're seeing on track there, that is where they've widened everything out. You can see where those D-cells are a little bit better now to understand it with the graphic that we've got on screen now. And the drivers seem to like it. I mean, the fans seem to be liking it. I'm loving it.
It's more natural.
It is. It feels less forced. So it's just a very smooth way to get through the track.
Yeah, so there it is. And you can see the old track, the old course edge, the white lines. And right there, that's widened So again, we open it up from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. It is an open thoroughfare. Again, that power alley moved to the power boulevard. So as you exit outside zone 1, it's going to have a natural flow versus tightening, getting on the brakes, checking somebody up, having those corrections. So you can float a little bit more. It's going to be natural, good flowy. But if your car grips up, as we saw, going from 2 to 3, that's where some of the drivers are having some trouble. So getting looser, getting more floaty to get to outside zone 3, and then just bring it on home past that inside clip. And again, don't look at the cone, look at the yellow box on the ground. That is the inside clip. So again, it's, I mean, shoot, probably a whole cone. So what, 3 feet from the base of the cone to the closest point of that inside clip, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then going into that last outside zone 4. All aboard, baby. We are on the Formula Drift train here, round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. We are throwing some coal in the engine. Not rolling coal, no diesels here. But another battle to find out who is going against Odi Bakchis in the finals.
Yeah, it should be good. I mean, Derek Madison, Brandon, Brandon getting maybe a little bit lucky on that call. We'll see. Hopefully not a ton of issues with the car, and Derek Madison loosening things up after having some contact in practice, but looking really, really solid. And one of them, whoever wins this, got a big task on their hand, and Odi Bakchis, who seems to be that fan favorite.
Well, in seating brackets right now. So, all right, we are hearing that Derek Madison has called a competition timeout. So, all right, looks like I hear a train coming. It's coming around the bend. There we go. More references here. Talking music, talking time, and we are having a good time. Don't go anywhere. When we return, more Formula Drift seating bracket action here at Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, Washington. FD Throwdown for your town. Don't go anywhere.
I can't wait to upgrade to this new high-speed Wi-Fi so I can get back to streaming all day, every day. Just gotta take care of some stuff first.
Visit your local discount tire and service centers.
I thought it was water for a second. I'm like, everybody's getting into the business of water. It must be the new scam, I guess.
Program puts you in the fast lane with a 70% hands-on education.
Yeah, Larry Chen.
Yeah, total inspiration. One of the guys that got me into media, that got me into...
Yeah, fine, but I do see...
Rizzler was quite the battle coming up here for our finals in seating, getting everything sorted and ready to go and lined up.
But we will see him tomorrow. So for all the St. Lunatics out there cheering him on, D-Mads will be in the show. So Brandon Sorenson against Odi Bakchis, a bye run for the young man from Lost Wages. Brandon Sorenson.
Text in, yeah, broken axle for D-Mads. There's Brandon taking that extra practice run. See how aggressive he gets just in a bye run. Him against Odi it's going to be wild. I mean, very, very technical Odi Bakchis versus an incredibly wild Brandon Sorenson. So, yeah, that's going to be quite the battle coming up here for our finals in seating, getting everything sorted and ready to go and lined up. He's using parts of the track that I don't even think we've rented out. Brandon going all the way through.
Yep. All right. Chill, bro. Hey, I got a message from Edgar from the Drift Appalachia team. He says, chill, bro. It's disrespectful calling me I have a cornhole body. I don't think that's how the John Mayer song goes. Your body is a cornhole body. You know, like, I don't think that's how it goes.
Oh, no? Okay.
No.
I must have got that wrong.
What? All right, let's go under the hood with the 702, the Sorenson, not single, not duo. There's actually a trio because Cameron Sorenson, Brandon Sorenson, Amanda Sorenson. Brandon's in pro, and the other two family members are in pro spec. Let's go under the hood with the Sorenson family.
Great to see here in her United States Air Force BMW. Make some noise for Amanda Sorenson. United States Air Force
beginning, and it was around.
Right, DJ Science tuning in. Got a sweet package. Thank you so much to my boy.
Is this the final battle?
DJ Science from up in Vancouver. Hopefully gonna see you tomorrow. But look at the battles here. Odie 5-2, so it's no pushover. Look at the winning percentage. Odie Bakchis 72%, and you know the fans said 60%.
STB lied to me, bro.
He
said Derek Madison wins city.
So with every win, so again, if you won in 16-8, so 16-3, 8-3, so 3, 6, 9, 12. Do the math, and it could be a deciding factor.
Yeah, an interesting point was brought up yesterday in that big town hall of Odie saying, like, I'm tied with Matt Field. If I win in this, I'm going to go into top 32 with you, already ahead in points. So interesting how this plays out.
Strategery.
Yes, strategery for sure.
Brandon Sorenson will lead. Odie Bakchis giving chase. That's an SNL reference, by the way. I don't know if you know that. Okay. All right. You look at it, you're like, here we go. Brandon Sorenson, United States Air Force BMW, sticks it to the wall. Odie Bakchis down a little bit, but you can see now he works his way up, compromises as far as proximity, but gets high on the bank into that second outside zone. Looks like Odie might have exceeded just a little bit, but he has great proximity there. Brandon really hanging out on the wall for quite a bit extraneously, and now dialing it in, coming on back. Yo, I'm liking the flow of this track.
Yeah.
I'm really liking the expansion of that bubble going into the power alley, into outside zone 3. That's pushed out. We massage this thing properly.
Yeah, and it gives you exactly what we see in this battle. It's such a good example of why everything came together to do this. Look at Brandon Sorenson, so stable up on the bank. Odie now starts to make his move in. Brandon does an amazing job through the second outside zone. Odie has to tuck back in, third outside zone. Brandon holds that for what feels like forever. Inside clip looks great. Now Odie back on throttle, finding that grip through the fourth outside zone. Brandon just absolutely hanging loose, very stylish all the way through that run. And for Odie, he's battling through this. This is not an easy one for him. Makes that dive maybe not quite at the right time, but makes it look so good, and able to get back into it. And then through this transition, same thing, Odie timing things quite well. Brandon giving him every single opportunity available. Get into the side of the door of Sorenson. I mean, if he could, he'd be banging the door the whole time. Like, let's go, let's go.
Give it the beans, as they say. Here we go, Odie Bakchis, Brandon Sorenson. Let's see what he got. Who's going to get the win? And like you said, some claims being made. He can be tied with Field if he gets this overall victory. Slide to that first outside zone. There goes Odie Bakchis. Look at the cars, just absolutely rock solid. Well done. Little left foot break there from Odie Bakchis. But look at the attitude of the cars. Just flat. No attitude, no disruption in this third outside zone. That's where Brandon got in trouble with Hansen earlier. That's how he got the advancement. Passing inside clip into this last outside zone. Odie and Sorenson. Do we have a winner? What do you guys think online or watching here in the building? Hey, stomp your feet real quick, Seattle. Stomp your feet. Make some noise. Get loud. There we go. Oh, there it is. There's the earthquake. Feeling the swell. It's only going to get louder tomorrow.
Odie Bakchis right off the bat, up to the wall. Brandon Sorenson doesn't let him go anywhere. Look at how he's got it tucked in. Does such an amazing job of mirroring what is going on with Odie Bakchis all the way through that first outside zone. Brandon Sorenson has that touch more angle, gets the car lined up to transition to the third zone. And Brandon fills that zone in the chase behind Odie, and that may end up being one of the big difference makers in this battle, is that Brandon was able to continue to fill every zone behind Odie Bakchis all the way through. That is something the judges are looking for, is for the drivers to be able to do that. Now, it's tough to say, though, because this is a very, very close battle all the way through, but these small little things are what end up adding up and what provides the opportunity for a driver to win a battle. So, BC Racing custom coilover side by side. Who's going to take this home? So close in the chase for both drivers. Brandon pulls a bit of a gap here. and see how things go in the second outside zone. Comes off the bank. Brandon goes almost too deep through that section. Does a really good job through there. The third outside zone. Oh man, this is tough. This is really, really tough. One of those days where I'm very happy not to be a judge.
It is an unenviable job, but I'm here to support them. They look at really the nuances of just these little things. So, yeah, it's really an unenviable job. But Reese Marin wanted to let me know that he did have a competition where he didn't qualify. So just want to let everybody know, Reese Marin, even though he got a win, he does have failures too. He's not perfect, so by any means. But it looks like we do have a winner here in our seeding bracket. So bring him on down. All thriller, no filler. And again, tomorrow is game day, round 6 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship. Sorenson and Bakchis in the finals. And it looks like, again, who was that in third? Simon Olsen. Simon Olsen gets third place. Let's see who gets the win here in seeding brackets. Who's, again, 3 points over the competitor.
Yeah, this is huge for so many different things. So, man, what a great battle, though. If this is any preview of what we're going to be seeing tomorrow, I'm ready.
Yeah, I think the track flow, the judges, Kevin Wells, and all the track people, so they definitely did a great job. I can't read what that says. I'll give you
$5 for Odie to win. I mean, we're getting bribery.
I'm not giving any money, bro.
No.
Just relax. All right, here we go. So bringing them on down. Okay. We do have a unanimous winner here as they all jump out in their weapons of mass destruction, talking about tires. And just want to make sure we got it all. So make some noise for our finishing drivers. Finishing third place, Mr. Simon Olsen. Simon Olsen getting third place. And now jumping outside of their vehicles, congratulations. Again, our seeding bracket finishers, Odie Bakchis and Brandon Sorenson. And the winner, round 6 seeding brackets overall here as they congratulate each other, high fives and handshakes. Winner of seeding brackets unanimously is Brandon Sorenson gets the win.
Okay, no, I was surprised. I thought that was going to be Odie's, but
Hansen, and
okay.
Now he fights on to see
Let's
another
go,
day,
Brandon.
3 points richer over Odie Bakchis. Congratulations, Brandon Sorenson, Odie Bakchis.
I thought that was Odie's
Simon
for a
Olsen
second.
in third. Mr. Gettens, I think this track is going to
Let's
deliver.
go.
We have the makings of a great event. High fives all around. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is just a taste. This is just the preview, the first course of what we're going to be seeing tomorrow when we get into our full top 32. I'm incredibly excited. This is only going to get better from here, and that is a massive thing to say after the battles we just saw.
Thank you so much, Jacob Gettens. Cerise Taylor will be joining us. Randy Johnson's in the building, so that's always exciting. Some great fans here, some of the best. Again, my second favorite, Atlanta, #1. Sorry, kids, but Turk, Olsen, a good battle. James Dean, Ken Gucci, if he get his car together. Adam LZ, Austin Matta. Austin could really Burkett. Some amazing battles.
All right, time for top 32.
The Formula Drift Pro Championship. Again, on behalf of...
I'm Mindy, and I'm a meathead.
It was an interesting childhood. She just couldn't get enough of meat.
It wasn't easy being a meathead. Now it is.
Meat for real meatheads. Yumbo.
You can get this fixed now and pay later. You can get this fixed now and pay later. And this. Get it fixed now and pay later in 4 interest-free payments at safelight.com.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Interest fees.
Beyond the Revolution.
Yeah, I don't know who's making these odds, man, but if you're a big fan of the sport, you can look at a few of these and go,
Here we go, top 32.
Yeah. So I just, again, I'm not a big gambling man, because normally, like, I love baseball, just don't follow it close enough. Go Padres. Sorry if it's polarizing, but that's just where it's at. I know my boy Lee DuPont. Lee over there in the tower, he's filming. He's behind the camera, not in front of it, but he's a big Padres guy. He'll be filming and watching Padres games, full disclosure. But he's focused. He's eyeing the prize, doesn't miss a shot. I'm sure we'll get some shots of the big old bird in the nest up top there, and we'll see what he puts down there. Maybe we can nickname him this event.
Okay.
You know, Manji, Faint, or something. You know, I don't know. Or, you know, we'll figure it out what the bird's name is. But thank you so much for joining us here. Again, I'm Jared Dienda. Joining me is Jacob Gettens, and we'll introduce the other member of our broadcast team. She's down on the ground, down in the pits, getting all the information. Not joining us this weekend is Lorette Nickel. Normally she joins us, but she's busy at another event. So we tapped Cerise Taylor, a great friend of ours, and she's going to be talking to drivers, pits, reporting on what's going on. So as I'm speaking about her, Cerise Taylor.
Now, if he wins, let's see. I mean, we have Freddie Oswald back in business, baby. I want you to talk
a lot of with double corners, so it's a big challenge.
88 miles. Track is pretty dynamic. You have the big bank in the front, and then you drop down from like 88 miles an hour on the initiation. You're dropping down to like 30 miles an hour on the infield. How are you setting up the car? Are you strategizing for more of the bank or more of the infield?
We're trying to do both. You know, and what's cool here is that the bank, there's a lot of grip on the bank, and we can't run maximum mechanical grip because of that banking. But in turn 2, you can. So we're using a bunch of NASCAR tricks. We're trying to make the car follow that dynamic track and make it easy to drive while still having the grip we need to hang with these guys. And so far, I think we're on the right track. But ask me again tonight, and we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, well, I hope to speak to you a lot today. We're rooting for you, absolutely. We're happy to have you here in Seattle. What is one thing that you're particularly looking forward to today?
It's coming down from the bank, and hopefully if we get it right like we have in practice, being right there with them in the pocket and getting that Irish dive into the second corner. When you get that right, it's the bet.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here, guys. We are just getting started. Be sure to tune in for the entire day. Catch all the action. Freddie, we'll see you later.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Some great insight as we run it back with James Dean and Kenshiro Gushi. James, great placement of the vehicle, high on the bank. Gushi, again, he had to get his car tight and right as, again, looking at it again, that overhead view. James, perfect car placement. A lot of eyeballs on him. Jacob, as we saw that, Cerise's great interview with Frederick, but what stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, James just hitting the ground running right off the bat, absolutely crushing out this entire run. Ken Gushi able to get into the pocket to the best of his ability throughout this, but the speed that comes off those RTR vehicles is absolutely nuts. Ken chopping a bit of line on outside zone 3 in order to get back into it. Then through our inside clip, Ken does a great job of timing everything out. And really, for James Dean, he is just laying down what we absolutely expect from a driver with an 86% battle win rate. This is how things are going to go with him. And, I mean, as we swap things around for Ken, he's got to lay down an absolutely monster lead run and hope that something strange happens in the chase for James Dean.
And you know, James does have a kryptonite. As great as we say he is, he's not perfect all the time. He is definitely a weapon. That dude is driving probably more than anybody. I mean, a lot of these drivers, and you've seen it, Drift Masters, FD, and look at that, just dropping in formation, a little waggle there, but then boom, finds his sweet spot. Ken Gushi, he's put down a heat of a run right now. He did exactly what you anticipated, Jacob. He put down a great lead run, going to that power alley. I like to call it the Power Boulevard because we have widened it 2 lanes, went from 2 to 4. Both on the outside zone 2 and 3, past that inside clip, transition down to outside zone 4, the unforgiving wall, fighting back. Gushi did exactly what he needed to do. Yeah. The truth serum will set you free, my friend, because we're talking about that overhead camera. We have a couple drones here. Aaron piling the truth serum. That's that locked and loaded overhead that's really going to highlight some great mistakes or some great makes.
Yeah, for Ken Gushi, I mean, he's got almost 300 battles under his belt. He knows what he needs to do in these situations, and he lays down an amazing lead run there and a big left foot brake to try and get the car pushed out the second outside zone. But to shake James Dean is incredibly difficult. But that lead run from Ken Gushi, super solid to kick things off here. And yeah, it's not going to be an easy decision there for the judges, especially when we're comparing those 2 lead runs.
And you can see the placement of the vehicle. James isn't as deep, but I think what's interesting here is it's setting precedence of what's expected and what the drivers are capable of. Yeah. I know the drivers meeting this morning, drivers are talking about, okay, we've widened outside zone 1 going into 2. The judges modified a little bit and put in a you know, we call it the momentum map, but I'm just going to say a decel area going off of outside zone 1 into 2. But I think it's discretionary because, you know, going into outside zone 2, they're going to slow down naturally because you're at angle, and ideally you throw more angle at it, slowing down the car. But to go from 2 to 3 is going to be really hard because, like I said, the power alley.
Apologies for the lag. It's going to fix itself eventually.
So as we take a look, you can see James leading on the left and Ken Gucci leading on the right.
Yeah, so obviously we know both drivers had a great lead run, but let's start taking a look at the chase here. Who's got the better both, you know, lead and angle and proximity? It's a mix of all three of those when we talk about the chase because both these leads pretty solid. It may end up coming down to James Dean's ability to fill outside zone 3 while he's in the chase, still keeping that line, keeping the proximity and mirroring the angle to the best of his ability. And there's been a lot of discussion about the lead line here, but not a lot of discussion about the chase. And for these drivers, everyone's got their leads dialed. It's going to be the chase that wins you this event. In my mind, that's how it's going to go.
I said that yesterday, and it absolutely rings true. James
the machine,
Dean. And I would just say that little X factor
win
on the chase position. I think there is room for improvement as far as placement of that chase vehicle.
Yes,
like
sir.
you said, Jacob, slide that car back a little bit more, massage it in. But good, fast, and cheap, you can only have 2.
Yeah.
So proximity, deepness, speed. You could really only have 2, you know, because you saw James had that proximity, but to slide that car back, I think he'll take him to Gapplebee's. You know, he'll separate himself, the lead car versus the chase car. So look at 2 varying differences here.
Right.
Andy Haley, obviously hairy, physically, just a fun guy. Brandon Sorenson, clean cut, very bespoke. Looks of the Air Force quality. 2 weapons of drivers. Here we go. 2 different schools of thought. An OG, a veteran, Andy Haley, that Evo AutoWorks BMW. Brandon Sorenson, United States Air Force BMW. Haley and Sorenson, a little bit there, some pickups here and there, out to outside zone 2 into outside zone 3. Sorenson checks up a little bit, but want to take a look at that overhead, take another glance at that pass to the inside clip. Haley places the car properly. Brandon falls back a little bit. He finds himself a little closer there, but Haley might have impeded a little bit. I know that back bumper got shed on the outside zone 1. That definitely could have gotten Brandon's way. And again, I think it was due to contact. I don't think it just like popped off.
No, it's definitely not an ejecto bumper. Andy right up here looks like he's struggling just a little bit to really get the tires lit off. Maybe it's just the angle, maybe the shadows playing games with us, but it took a bit. Brandon does a good job of holding back that BMW because it is one of the fastest cars here. They've got it so strung out and so dialed. I think a lot of it is him trying to fight to hold that back because Andy does have a pretty solid lead run, but maybe not as quick as what you would expect out of Brandon. Now they swap this around. The question will become, can Andy hang with the speed that I think Sorenson's about to throw down?
Asthma doesn't want you to be the cool mom. Triggers can pop up at any moment, and
Yeah, quick look back at yesterday. Brandon did win our seating, you know, picked up a bunch of points, picked up a lot of experience in doing so, and that is the massive benefit of running through that seating is the track time, the experience, and the points for any of these drivers, because we always focus on that finals. We always focus on who's going to win the big championship, but for some drivers, they want to be in the top 5. That's their big goal for the year, and they want to be Rookie of the Year. Brandon Sorenson, though, absolute clinic all the way through, and to beat out Bakchis, that alone is a massive, massive thing to be able to do.
Yeah, there it is. You can see it was a Brandon, Odie, Simon in the seating brackets, and that's, you know, seating bracket. You find yourself in the seating bracket if you're not top 16 of the previous round.
Yeah.
So just for clarification there, seating brackets again, top 16 from our previous round. St. Louis most recently. If you're in the 16, you're locked and loaded going into the next round. So that's why Brandon, Odie, and obviously Simon found themselves there. Andy Haley locked and loaded. Here we go. Speaking of locked and loaded, here goes Brandon Sorenson. A great initiation, high on the bank. Needs to throw some more angle at it. Look at that thing waver. He is flirting with that wall, and that wall is unforgiving. Haley very low on the bank, and you talk about the speed of Brandon's car, and it's very evident right now as Andy Haley gets gapped right now, going past that inside clip. Brandon maneuvers, and Haley rotates, spins, and that's just going to be, unfortunately, the Drift Wizard's nail in the coffin for him. No sorcery could get him out of that. weapon as the BMW of Brandon Sorenson comes out very dominant, breaks his wrist in that arm wrestling competition.
Yeah, Brandon very, very aggressive here. Really getting the car into the wall, gets back on throttle, gets the wall again. So we've got 3 different hits on that first outside zone. Andy Haley, we'll have to see on another replay, how does that affect him? And then Brandon through this outside zone, back and getting on the throttle, maybe a touch late. Inside clip looks good. And then does have a bit of a stall up there to the last zone where it's tough because Brandon's run was very aggressive and maybe not smooth. And for Andy, he just doesn't really get into the fight through a lot of it. So is he in a position being that far back where what Brandon was doing in the lead was actually affecting him?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this is a massive topic of discussion right now, is that cause and effect when it comes to the lead and chase, and what happens in the lead, and how does that affect the chase car, and how far back does a chase car need to be before it is no longer affected?
Absolutely situational. So in that instance, I would say that Brandon, yes, he was lacking the angle. He was tight on the wall, but straightened out, had some wavering. Andy was down there. I think it was kind of over before it began. You know, I love Andy's driving, love how aggressive he is. Obviously just a big personality, love what he's doing, but unfortunately I think at launch he initiated, was low on the bank. Brandon was off to the races, and you can see just how modular that vehicle is. Look at the bumper, the fiber, you know, the carbon fiber. They'll swap that thing out, look like a brand new car.
Yeah.
For I'm just gonna call it for 16 because I believe Brandon got this, but still some review over here. Look at that, they are reviewing. So maybe I've been wrong, and I'm just saying. So we will see.
Yeah, there's a few things that they're discussing. There's a few things in the rule book that they're probably looking at with
trunks
this.
In the way?
Well, I mean,
hood, hatch, door. I mean, the rule is hood, hatch, door, anything latched. If it opens it up and it impedes, is that what you're implying?
Well, yeah, potentially, but there is a precautionary measure in that because it was due to contact. So that's the other part. If the trunk were to just fly open out of nowhere, that's one thing. So let's take a look here, because as aggressive as Brandon is,
on the right screen or left?
Let's go with the right here. Brandon really, I mean, he's banging off the wall. Andy doesn't have that opportunity to really get in there from that. Now, he does fall way back to the rest of this run. That would be possibly the argument, you know, if I had the cone hat on and I was arguing for Andy's camp, that's the argument I'd be making.
Here's the talking hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not the talking stick, but here's the cone hat.
Maybe that's what we have to do for all of our drivers' meetings now. We get a talking hat that gets passed around. That'd go real well.
If you get to pass around your stinky beanie.
No. We'll find something.
Don't wish that upon anybody.
No. It loses its magic that way. So.
Oh, you have harnessed the magic of Canada. All right, slide him left for Andy Haley or right for Brandon Sorenson. And it looks like there it is, Brandon Sorenson. And, you know, again, no fault to Andy Haley, just aggressive. Sorenson, I think, like you said, but I respect the judges taking the time to give it the respect it deserves.
Yeah.
And really dive and delve into, was Haley impeded his performance and line and all that by Brandon? I don't think so. So I think that right decision was made. So
yeah, and
great
judges agree.
Yep. All right. Here we go. Moving on to our next battle. Jeff Jones, Nick Noback. Jones, fierce competitor. Nick Noback, I know he just lost in the cup recently. He posted that. He's had a tough 365 last year. So send a shout out to Nick Noback and his love. So here we go. Jeff Jones in that Evil Auto Works Nissan Z, high on the bank. Noback looks like he's got a big angle from him. He was getting a little squirrely yesterday, past that outside zone 2 into 3. Jones is putting the car in the right place, but this is what I was talking about. Nick, just him and his track just aren't completely jiving. It's just not coming together for him. In practice yesterday, in seeding, he got it done, but just not coming together for him.
Yeah, just not able to find the flow and where he needs to be. Jeff a little bit lower on the bank, not too bad, but gets that smoke going immediately. Look at the speed coming out of Jeff Jones. And for Nick Noback, another incredibly fast car on this track. He's not able to keep it dialed. Jeff keeps a ton of speed coming off that. Now, he does slow down a little bit before that transition. The judges really want you to slow down after transition. Noback does a great job of adapting to that section. So for me, I mean, Noback on the first outside bank, that's where he was struggling. The rest of this track, he does make some concessions, cuts some line and transitions pretty early, but it does mean that he's able to pick up that inside clip in that final outside zone. So it becomes one of those situations where if you're feeling like you're behind, where do you cut? Where do you maybe drop a zone to make sure that you gain some proximity a little bit further back.
Also, from yesterday to today, the finish line has been truncated due to basically when they cross the finish line, you can go left and go to basically the driver's meeting tent. There's a wall there. Not forgiving again. So they wanted to leak out right. So that's why they truncated that finish line. Here we go. So Nick Noback now looks like he's found that special sauce. That Noback branded tires. BMW, look at Jeff Jones hopping. Look how soft that suspension is. That thing was just absolutely a pillow on cloud. And in that third outside zone, Noback looks like, I spoke too soon. Looks like he is working it out. He just needed that clean air versus that chase position. Speaking of chase, Jeff Jones banging doors into that last outside zone and crossing the finish line. Are you not entertained?
That was definitely spicy.
That was good, dude. That was a little habanero.
Yeah.
Getting all your daily nutrients is hard work, but nutrition gaps in your diet are inevitable. But there's an easier way to fill them. Meet Groons.
Not full on,
Yeah, we're not
not Scovilles.
Yeah,
we're not doing hot ones.
Just enough to be a little uncomfortable. But yeah, Nick Noback gets up on the wall. Does a really good job here. Look at Jeff Jones really trying to hunt down Nick Noback all the way through the first outside zone. Then Noback makes that big correction to add angle so he doesn't shoot off outside zone 2. And then floats things out to 3, gets a little bit of a wall tap in there. Jeff Jones does a great job of adapting to it through this transition. What an amazing job from Jeff Jones to time that out. Really gets to the inside. Expert level transition. That's so difficult to get right. And gotta have a lot of trust in that lead driver too to be able to pull something like that off. So shouts out to both those guys for absolutely laying down throughout this run.
I think what Jeff did there was, especially there at the end, showed he had the car and showed he could drive. Look at this. We're bumping. Jeff bumps Noback. Justin Smash with the drone bumps Jeff. This is totes adorbs, man.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, the love is real right now.
Yeah.
Group hug. Trust fall. He goes
Definitely
almost in the back of the Nissan Z of Jeff Jones. But I think Jeff bashing the door was showing that he had the prowess. He could get that proximity. Showed up a little bit late, but overall, I'll tell you what, Nick Noback, I think, surprised even himself.
Yeah, and now for the judges, let's start really dissecting what's going on. Where's the proximity? Where's the line in the chase? Because we know what the leads look like. Jeff not as close on further tell as to what was going on. And Nick has a couple of spots here on the chase where he does quite well. So this is tough. This is a lot tougher than maybe we thought it was going to be based on that first run.
But this is what I was talking about as far as, the three, the speed, the proximity, the angle, all of those elements, good, fast, and cheap. I think, what we saw, and that's why I really like James, who is, again, defending champion. He wasn't really deep in the chase position. He had good proximity, but wasn't as deep as the lead car. So I think that really sets precedence, So, and look at, here we go, one more time.
Yeah.
And like you said, oh, look at that. So, again, Robbie Nishida actually sided with Jeff, but it is majority rules. So 2-1, Jeff and Noback will go at it again. So I think both of them caught a break. I think, regardless, we'll see it one more time. Throw it down to Cerise Taylor. Cerise.
Guys, I am here with a fan favorite, no doubt, Adam LZ, Florida. We're standing in front of your E36, but this is no ordinary E36. You are, from what I heard from Freddie, the fastest car out there. We're pushing like 1,300 horsepower. Why?
Why not, right? I mean, drifting, part of it is finding the limits, and I'm very fortunate to have Freddie on board, and we like experimenting, trying new things. We're not making 1,300 horsepower. Maybe we could, but it'd be a little much. I think right now we're like 11 and change, but it's definitely one of the fastest cars on grid right now.
So this track is a lot of fun for you guys, but it does pose some challenges. What are you focused on today?
The biggest challenge of this track that's always been a challenge even before they changed the layout is leaving the bank. We're going so fast that it's very difficult to get the cars to rotate and drive down the bank when we want to go there. And then you go from a pretty decent concave, gradual load up of the car to a flat surface where the car feels loose. So that's a tricky part of the track.
So with all this power that you're pushing, I was talking to some of the Kumo drivers. Tire strategy is a big element of conversation for those guys. You're with Tire Streets. Yeah. You're running your own, your own jam out here. What are you doing as far as tires? How many tires are you burning through?
Yeah, it's cool. Like you said, with Tire Streets, I've gotten to know a lot of different tires. So we kind of have different strategies depending on what track we're on, what the situation is. Here, a lot of it's just wheel speed. We can't get greedy with wheel speed, or we'll be going through our tires too fast, and we want to make sure they last. So gear changes maybe where we don't want to, or running less wheel speed than we want to, just to try to conserve the tire. Yeah, absolutely. Now, do you have a strategy? Because we got James D, and we got Osbo, and then we got you. Do you have your eyes set on anything today? Do you have a strategy that you would be willing to share with us?
This is why I canceled my DoorDash subscription and switched to Cook Unity. After months spending way too much on DoorDash, I got bored of eating the same fast food.
just one battle at a time. That's it.
Awesome, I love it. Well, we're so happy to see you out there. Everybody give it a round for Adam LZ.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Cerise. And here we go with O'Sully, Connor O'Sullivan, and re-entering the chat room, Wataru Masuyama. After Daigo Saito was not allowed in to the States, the keys were handed over from Jerry Yang to Masuyama. So here he is in that Jerry Yang Racing.
Hopefully the Wi-Fi people comes tomorrow. Check it out.
3M.
We can see how we can fix it.
6. Connor O'Sully O'Sullivan, a pro spec competitor making the jump from pro spec to pro this year. United States Army, BMW. O'Sully initiates, working his way up top. Masuyama not shaking too much. The car's very settled there. Now O'Sully, you can see pulling up that front right tire. You can see that thing rip up into the power alley. Masuyama a little late on transition. Want to take a look at that? And it looks like O'Sully hung it out to dry. Masuyama couldn't really go anywhere. Let's take a look at it again. Right? It seemed like he hung it out there a little too long and got that 86 in the side of him. So we're going to have to, again, take a look at that overhead.
Yeah, it was a really interesting run, especially near the end, but off the bat, things looked really solid for both drivers. Connor O'Sullivan right up on the wall, gets a bit of a tap there. Masuyama not shaking at any point. Does an amazing job of mirroring both the line and the angle, and, I mean, good proximity. So much speed coming through that second outside zone, then third outside zone. O'Sully just a bit too much angle, and he's not able to get that forward drive out to catch the inside clip. It stalls things up, but for Masuyama, another amazing job of adapting to what the lead car is doing. So let's see with this drone view, what goes wrong for Connor O'Sullivan. It looks like completely maxed out on angle and just not able to keep that momentum coming through outside zone 3 to be able to collect the inside clip. So it's a bit too much angle, doesn't get that bite, doesn't get that drive out of it to push him to the next part of the track that needs to be in it. For Wataru, I mean, I can't say it enough. He is coming back really, really strong after a brief hiatus.
Yeah, I can't believe how quickly he adapted to that vehicle. I mean, Jerry Yang, he definitely builds vehicles that are capable. You know, you're seeing that with Manoa. We saw that with Kazuya Taguchi, obviously Daigo Saito. Daigo and that car, you know, I know Daigo really wanted like a big American kind of V8, so jumping in that car, it's obviously capable. So, you know, Masuyama taking a hiatus, coming back. You know, he did campaign in S15 previous years, but seems like he's not even skipping a beat, man. Just back at it like a track addict, as we are looking at James Dean's Mustang RTR Spec 5 FD. Great video. Love Von Gittin Jr. I know he's not here in the building, but that new GTD Ford Mustang number 25. Beautiful looking car, that lead foot gray. I don't know if you've seen that vehicle. Those are popping up. Deliveries. Stunning. Holy cow. Give me the keys. Thanks, Vaughn. I appreciate it. My birthday's October, but you shouldn't have. You know my address. I'll expect it when I get back home. Going to Edmonton this weekend. Got an awesome event on Wednesday night. Hot August Nights at Rad to Work Raceway.
Nice.
It's going to be fun. Snap-on games next weekend. So that should be fun in Florida. But right now, it's a party here in Seattle. The battle in Seattle. Wataru Masuyama. Little, looks like maybe a Konos hit or somebody jumped it. Konos hit. All right, Konos hit. So we adopt the traditional stick and ball sports. 3 strikes. You're out of there. As James Dean keeping calm. Got his cool shirt. Literally, it's called a cool shirt. You can see the tubing there, keeping it cool. Nice temperature. A little warm for Pacific Northwest standards, so reapply, all you northerners here. You too, Jacob. I know you got the beanie that keeps you, but no bill. So
I've seen a few burnt people here. They were not ready for the sun, that's for sure.
No. SPF Canada.
Yeah.
Go and throw that on. SPF Sherwin-Williams. Just paint yourself with that and protect yourself. Yo, the beer garden and the little smoking area here, probably some of the best seats.
That's a great spot coming off the bank.
Bro,
man.
Those are like the smoke people. That's the smoking section. Literally not just smoking lung darts, but also cranking some smoke and debris in the face. Here we go, Masuyama and Juku Racing. 86 ripping right now as Masuyama and O'Sully cannot be shaken. Yes, sir, into that second outside zone. Masuyama brings it on into the third outside zone. O'Sully comes up a bit short than United States Army BMW. Now pass it inside, into that last zone. O'Sully transitions, Masuyama stays in it. Bash indoors, bathing ape, smoky ape is more like it. Well done by Masuyama.
Yeah.
Pin it to win it, didn't flop. This ain't no, you know, basketball, soccer. You're like, my ankle. No, man, Masuyama took a licking, kept on ticking.
Yeah, what a great run. Connor O'Sullivan, knowing he's got that mistake on his first run, really has to battle back. Look at the contact already on the bank. just charging into the side of Wataru, who at no point even like provides any sign of backing down. Lots of speed through these transitions, gets the car checked up, and right here, Sully knows he's got to make a dive, comes to the inside clip, loads it up. There it is, big old bash to the side of Wataru, who doesn't back